Welcome to the Nerd Tutorial Podcast, a podcast offering discussions and tutorials about nerdy subjects for people who aren't necessarily nerdy themselves. With you today is myself, your nerdy tutor, and with me, in special remote location here, we have the mother of tieflings, my mom, and then we have the son of tieflings, my little brother. Welcome. So, today, we're actually going to play a quick, not necessarily quick, but a Dungeons & Dragons adventure here today. So, Mom, John, let's introduce your characters here first, so everyone's kind of on board with what we have going on here today. So,
and you are our Dragon Master.
Well, I'm our Dungeon Master here
Dungeon
today.
Master.
I did not bring the screen. I forgot the screen, because there's usually a screen you have that hides everything that you're doing. But I forgot it with me today.
I'll pretend not to look.
That's okay.
Okay. So I am Oriana Glory, and I am a tiefling bard, and I'm a charlatan. I'm chaotic good. I think I'm doing things for the right reason, but I might screw up in doing that. I have sleight of hand and deceit and all sorts of devious tricks. I have a noble's ring. It's not necessarily a real noble's ring, but I have a noble's ring so I can try to trick people into thinking that I'm the runaway daughter of a noble or something along those lines. So I can try to trick them. I have a rapier and a dagger because I'm not very strong, but I am very agile.
Awesome.
Okay.
How about you, Mr. John?
Alrighty. So the character's name that I'm playing is named Orion, and he is a tiefling warlock. And so, for those who aren't in the know, warlocks are a class of characters who make a pact or a deal with some sort of higher power. In his case, he made a deal with a kraken. So think the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Made a deal with one of those.
Nice.
Anywho's, he's got scimitars. He's got a couple of spells here or there.
Alrighty.
Why are we traveling together?
I can help you out with that.
Oh, this is your job. Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
so I can help you with that. But are you two related by chance?
Yes.
This is my son. Is this my son?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's up to you guys if you guys are related.
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So
I must have had you as a child. I was a child bride. Yeah.
Well, you're a performer. I am a gladiator. So I just sort of go into pit fighting for money.
There we
Just
go.
so we can get
We're
by.
both entertainers.
Yes.
So that actually works out well because you guys are a part of a traveling caravan called the Sapphire Review. It
Ooh.
travels around from place to place here, primarily with the intent of making money here. And it tries to make its money here for your humble owner, or benefactor as we like to call it here, or she likes to call it herself, of a Waywocket Taran. She is a small little gnome who runs this traveling circus caravan known as the Sapphire Review. And you guys are basically some of the acts in it.
So the small little gnome, is she like Linda Hunt in NCIS LA?
Kind of.
Okay.
Just tiny little person that kind of like
Trying to visualize.
barks around what she wants to have happen here.
Yep. Got
Takes in kind of any wayward sort of puppy that like comes across her way that might be worth money or might be able to be used in the caravan. People come and go in the caravan all the time. But the intent is to kind of travel from town to town, make money, and move on to the next town, get more information, steal a little here and there, just to travel
that
around.
comes in handy because I have high intelligence and wisdom.
Yes. So actually, right now, the Sapphire Review is in a town about, give or take, 10 or so miles away. They're in a different town, but you guys have been sent forward to try to look at the next town that they're on their way to.
Okay.
So the intent being is that you guys are scouting out the next town in order to see if it's worth going to or not. Because there's two different towns along the way. There's one to the north, which is where you guys are going, and there's one to the east, which is another town.
Okay. So we're the scouting crew.
So you're kind of a little bit of a scouting crew. Your intent is to try to drum up interest and see if it's worth traveling there at all. If it is, you guys will go back to the review here and let, Waywocket know if it's worth going there or not. If not, then they'll travel in the opposite direction. But you guys are kind of the forward crew to go check.
So I'm
out.
dancing tonight.
Well, you could be.
Okay.
That's up to you.
So.
All right.
So so in this case here, you guys have traveled for 2 days via horse, and another person in another wagon here, because you guys don't own a wagon or a horse. But you've traveled via wagon with another little group of people, of traders here, and you've gone to the town of Everdale.
Ooh. Okay.
So Everdale, the way it's described here for me, is it's right on the edge of a forest. It's actually, the town itself is buried a little bit into the forest here. And just slightly outside of the forest, by just a couple hundred yards, is nothing but farm fields and other farm fields, essentially. So plains, farm fields. So everybody around you is farmers, grazers, things of that nature. And the town has been well known in the past for being a bit of a mining town. It's had logging. It's done a little bit of everything. It's a prosperous.
Mining, are we talking gemstones? Are we talking minerals?
Silver.
Silver. Okay.
Silver, so. But when you arrive in town, the town doesn't look quite as busy or populated as you might think initially. The town itself is there. It's about 20 some odd buildings in the main area, with a lot of like family houses kind of spread out along the way here with the farms. But the town looks a bit run down. Like, not a lot of money has been coming through here lately. And you can kind of tell that not a lot of people are in the streets, not a lot of shops are open at all. It seems a bit boring.
Not an active market.
Not a very active market here. So,
Okay.
but there are 2 taverns here. One of them might be a good tavern, the other one might not be a great tavern. So, which one would you like to go to?
Let's go to the nice looking one. Let's see what's going on there.
All right. So, the nice tavern here is known as the Pig Whistle Tavern. It's
Pig's Whistle?
Pig's Whistle.
Okay.
The farms out here, one of them does pigs.
I've never heard a pig whistle.
A pig whistle?
Pigs with wings, okay.
You've never heard a pig whistle before? Sweet!
Oh, okay. Pig call, okay. Got it.
Alrighty, so you guys enter the tavern. It's one of the few things that does look busy here. It's probably about about a dozen tables or so inside here. Only about 3 of them have any people at it. There's a bar, being run by a dwarf. So you guys feel free to make yourselves at home. And what do you guys want to do while you're here in the tavern?
What does the clientele look like? Are they from around here, or does it look like they're from elsewhere?
There's 2 different tables that look like they're farmers that are kind of having a lunch break almost. Although they have just...
Are we midday?
We're about midday here, we'll say. So there's 2 farmers or 2 local people that look like they're having lunch, but it's a very small lunch by comparison. Not a lot. They're not eating a whole lot. There's another guy who's kind of traveling through, it looks like. He's got he's got a backpack with him, and he's just finishing his meal, and looks like he wants to get out of there pretty quickly. You see a dwarf walking around. He looks like he might know something here. He's got a nice big apron on as well.
I'd kind of like to talk to the guy who looks like he's from out of town. He's got a backpack and looks to be moving on, because I want to move on with him.
All right. So feel free to approach him.
Hi there.
Eyes. What can I be doing for you?
I'm just wondering. I'm a dancer looking for a venue. Can you recommend someplace? Where have you been lately?
I might recommend my bedroom here a little bit, but you look like a fine dancer from this angle.
I'm not a private dancer.
Oh. Shucks.
Well, I'm just wondering. So where have you been? Where have you been, and where are you going?
Basically, anywhere it's got a map, I'm heading east. Gotta head back to home, but this place ain't got what it used to be at all. Months ago, this place used to be very popular, but not the same anymore.
Well, what brought you here?
My feet, of course. My feet take me everywhere I need to be, unless somebody wants to travel along with me. Few copper, few gold, but you travel where you need to go.
Well, so now, you said your feet, unless somebody wants to travel along with you, how would somebody travel along with you?
They might carry me. It's not common, but you get carried where you get carried. It happens.
So where were you before you got here?
I was back north. I have family up there. Travel back and forth, return money, lose money, gambling.
So you're a gambler.
I play the best cards.
Would you like to play a hand of cards?
I don't want to take your money here, lady. Your money might not be quite so nice, but I got quite a bit of it, and I would just feel wrong taking your money.
I'd like to play cards.
Well, here, let me pose you a question.
Yeah.
Earlier you said this town wasn't what it used to be.
Nah, I've traveled through here for a while, and this town ain't quite what it used to be. Years ago, this place was very busy. Silver mine up north by the hills used to be great money for this place. But ever since the local lord decided to move in, town ain't doing so well. He likes some taxes.
Alrighty. Where does this particular lordling live?
You follow up north up the hill, I suppose. That's where the mine used to be. He put a nice, fancy house right on top of the hill. Very fancy house. Lots of guards, though, is the only thing I would mention. They ain't the friendly sort of looking type. Unless you got the money, of course, but ain't nobody got that here.
Well, that'll be fun.
Should we go up the hill?
Well, let's talk to the other fellow over there with the apron. Let's investigate a little more.
I'll be trekking off now.
You have a good day, sir.
Bye.
Hope you guys make it out. And he leaves.
Make it out. I
As
thought
in
this
make
was
it
a
out
nice
alive.
bar. Okay. Sounds
Well, I'm not going into too much detail.
devious.
Remember, though, again, if you want to use any of your skills here at all, let me know, so that you might be able to learn more or less, depending.
Okay.
You
So,
could try to steal something from him.
well, I have sleight of hand.
You do. That means you get a little bonus for it. So,
Remember,
because your dexterity modifier is +2, and your proficiency modifier is +2, or your proficiency
Well,
bonus
well,
is
he
+2.
mentioned that he's carrying money. Can I try to pick his pocket?
Yeah. You just have to roll for it. And because your proficiency bonus and your dexterity modifier are each +2, that means you get +4 to whatever you roll.
I'd like to pick his pocket before he leaves.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming you kind of just kind of bump into him before he leaves, maybe?
Can I
Just
give you a
kinda-
hug goodbye?
Okay. Go for it if you want.
So you'll just get a roll on here. There you go.
11.
+4.
15.
So you take a small little coin purse from him, as stealthily as possible. Do you want to wait to open it, or come back, or open it, just after he leaves?
I want to wait to open it.
Okay. Alrighty.
Well, here, let's now go over to the aproned dwarf fellow.
Alrighty.
Excuse me, sir.
You kind. Not the best kind around here. Ain't seen anybody with some darkish skin here in a while. Plus horns.
It's not my fault my ancestors made a deal with Levistus. Not my problem. I was just born this way.
Well, hope you found something nice off that fine young man. You didn't tip me anything at all. Just don't be trying that around anybody else here. It's good country folk. Ain't done nothing wrong to nobody.
Well, then here, let me leave you a tip since that fine gentleman was so rude.
And what kind of tip might that be? I ain't got the kind of tips that say wash the dishes regularly.
Here's 2 gold pieces.
Dwarf looks at you in somewhat shocked amazement here. Well then, you guys need room and board tonight, I presume?
We might. But first things first, I was thinking you and I could talk a little bit.
Well, you don't mind me doing some work while I'm here.
Not at all.
So what you got to nose?
So that fellow over there said something along the lines of this town ain't what it used to be because some lord moved in.
Well,
Would that be your opinion as well? Or?
I've lived in Everdale for the last 84 years, ever since I moved
you
here.
look so good for your age.
I've combed the beard regularly. That's the secret.
I'd have never guessed you were 84.
I tried. But ever since local lord moved in, his daddy apparently owns all of the countryside here, and the lord decided he wanted to have a nice house here on top of the silver mine. Decided to claim his rights. We couldn't say nothing. He brought a bunch of guards with him. A bunch of hired thugs, if you ask me.
So what do you think he's protecting up there?
I think he's protecting his wife. He's got a fancy-looking wife up there that ain't like being out here in the country necessarily, but you can hear her screaming from outside the limits quite regularly.
Really now?
Screaming?
Yes.
Do you think she's noble?
They're both nobles. He's got the fanciest looking rings and the nicest looking necklace. And his wife is always dressed in blue and purple.
Prettier than my ring?
Well, now.
That's my
Yeah.
family's signet ring. Isn't it beautiful?
Well, it's a lot bigger than that, but yeah, it's about like that, I would say.
Well, I think he may be my long-lost cousin.
You're a part of the Von Keplers?
Yes. Arnold von Kepler was my grandfather.
Huh. That would be impressive. He might, that would be impressive, but if that were the case, I'd have to throw you guys out of here as well.
Well, I mean, there's some distance in the families. You know how that goes.
As you've well noticed, we have horns. I doubt this fella does.
That's true. But then again, tieflings are a little weird like that sometimes. You never know quite where they come from, but what you all doing down here anyways, here in Everdale?
We were just trying to look around and see if this town would be worth more of our time.
We're traveling performers.
Performers, you say?
I'm a dancer.
I'd guess it by the ankles.
Well, I don't show my ankles to just anyone.
I can figure.
Me personally, I'm a bit of a gladiator, pit fighter. You want to see some fun, rough times? I'm your man.
We figured some of your farm boys might want to take him on.
Well, we ain't had a carnival or anything like that in town for a good couple of years here at this point. It'd be nice to have it, but you'd be wasting your time here in Everdale. There ain't no money here. Ain't
money?
nobody got any money to spend.
What about all those guards?
Those guards don't go anywhere the noble doesn't go. They get paid by him, so there's no reason to come down here. And even then, they get fed, they get water, they get entertainment.
But they don't get to see me dance.
Well,
Try to be charismatic here.
if you want to have your fancy carnival down here, that's fine. But you'd be catering to about a dozen people at all.
Oh.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Well,
Farmers out here ain't got no money, and nobody's going to come back into town with the Lord here at all. It's not worth it for him.
let's say we did something about that lord.
I don't know what you want to do about him. He's got rights here. I'm not going to be, and I don't want to have any more nobles here if I can avoid it.
Well, there's rights and then there's might.
Might, you say? Might you be trying to just ruffle my beard here?
Maybe not your beard, but I'm sure we could ruffle a couple of feathers up by that silver mine.
If you want to, it's up the hill about a mile or so away. You'll notice the roads being nice and well kept, so that's the best way to travel to it. But I wouldn't recommend going up there if I were you. Noble tends to be, Mr. Von Kepler tends to be quite particular about his company. People come up there, but they generally don't come back down.
Okay, I have a. Can I have a conversation with him? Okay. I have a disguise kit and I have some fine clothes.
Indeed, you do.
I could do my hair up so that you can't see the horns. Can I do my hair up so I can't see the horns?
Keep in mind that even if tieflings are kind of a little bit odd, I mean, like, it's not unusual to find, like, a aristocrat tiefling at all either.
Okay.
So that's not uncommon. It's just, again, like, remember the tieflings are kind of like semi-suspicious because of their infernal heritage, but most tieflings have kind of like get over that quickly, and if you can charm your way past people, they don't kind of care anymore.
Okay. So I think I could dress up in my fine clothes and take my diplomatic pack and my signet ring, and I'd like to rescue the wife. I mean, it sounds like she's screaming every day.
Well, let's figure out what exactly is going on over there, because he's also saying that lots of people go up, but they don't exactly come back down.
Okay, so should we go up the road? Should we go up the road in sight of everybody on the road, or should we go up by the mountain path so that we're not seen? Although the mountain path might tear my clothes, but hey.
Well, that is a good point.
I think if I'm gonna disguise myself as a noble woman seeking room and board because I can't possibly stay in that village. That village is just so passé.
And I guess I could be your guard.
You could be my guard. I think we take the road.
Indeed, we do.
Our horses ran off. A highwayman took our carriage.
Sounds like a plan.
The highwayman took our carriage, and but we still have our fine clothes. They didn't rob us. They just took our carriage, and we can't possibly stay in the town. I mean, would you expect somebody like me to stay in that tavern with that dwarf? He tried to look at my ankles.
You were speaking to the dwarf.
Am I speaking to the
Yes.
dwarf?
No, not that I'm aware of right now.
That's right. Yeah. No, we're having.
You guys are having a private conversation. The dwarf has gone to the back to go clean plates.
We're having a private conversation.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So we're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go up the road.
All right, so it's still about midday right now. So you guys want to head up toward?
Do we need to eat first? No.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're fine.
Okay. We're gonna go up the road.
Okay, alrighty. So, the roads, as you notice here, like when you came into town, look like your standard kind of mundane kind of dirt roads here. Like clearly, it looks like people travel along this path, and it's a little bellowed out, so kind of the grass grows on the side. As you get closer to the hills, though, where this nobleman lives at, you notice the roads start getting a lot nicer.
Oh.
The roads look a bit more
Improved.
well kept.
Yeah.
In some cases, as you get closer to the ingress of the mountain of the hill here that leads up to the house, which you can see from the distance, it looks like a very nice little mansion up there.
Pretty view.
Oh, it's got one of the best views. You can see almost everything. It's slightly just above the tree line, so when you get up there, you can look out onto the entire plains of all the different farms, and if you look to the north, you see some more mountains. So it's got a lovely little view up there.
Okay.
But as you get closer up there, the roads are, again, looking much nicer and paved in some cases here. You see kind of the stone lanterns on either side, but it does take you a little bit to get up here, so by the time you get up here, it's starting to get late in the afternoon.
Okay.
As you get closer and closer, you start noticing some guards kind of are kind of there. They look at you guys a little oddly, though. Obviously, because again, tieflings, no idea why you're here at all.
But I'm well dressed. You don't stop a woman who is confident and well dressed.
No, that is true. They do notice you, and they do kind of pique their interest because again, it's a very well dressed tiefling here at the end of the day.
And her guard.
And a guard, yes. Then as you get closer up the hill, you reach kind of initial walls and gates of the place here.
Okay.
And one of the guards kind of stops you and is like, Tiefling, you don't belong around these parts.
Rude.
Rude says the person coming uninvited up here.
Don't you see this is Miss Lady Oriana?
I don't know a Lady Oriana.
I'm Lady Oriana. I am a cousin of Lord
Von Kepler.
Von Kepler. See my signet ring? The family signet. You, of course, recognize it right off.
I'm going to need you to roll for your deception.
Which dice?
A D20.
A D20?
So you're going to be using that pretty much for any action,
Okay.
whether that's stealing or...
15.
Yeah. So
that and then
Plus
3
3.
and then plus 2.
Plus
So
2.
20.
she got 5. So
20.
she got a 20 here at the end of the day. So the guard looks at the ring and thinks it's an awfully pretty ring, and it looks very noble-ish. So again, he doesn't know who's a part of what family or not. He's just a guard. He's just wearing some leather armor. He's got a nice looking sort of tabard on that's got like the little got a crest on it here, spear and hat. But I mean, like he doesn't know any different here. But he sees the ring and immediately is like, all right on in. So
Thank you.
as you get closer to the house here, you see again like another 2 or 3 guards. There's a guard kind of walking around the house. There's another one. There's a little guardhouse kind of nearby. This place is kind of well protected, it would seem. So.
But I'm not hearing any screaming.
No, I mean not yet, at least. But I mean.
Oh, the days, yeah. Okay.
So you get closer to the house here, and you get to the doors, big oak doors. So you flash the ring once again, and you get let in. And you're in kind of the lobby waiting area, sort of here, the foyer.
Mm-hmm.
In comes a very large human. He's rotund. He looks like he's not gone without food for quite some time. He's had quite the pleasure of dining on a daily basis here.
This is the Lord of the Manor.
This is the Lord. Yes, this is going to be Lord Frederick von Kepler of the Kepler family.
Oh, Fred. I just knew when he described you down at the tavern, that awful dwarf, that you were my long-lost cousin. My grandfather Arnold was your father's second cousin.
My goodness, what do we have here? It's a collection of tieflings here, and the finest looking tieflings I've seen in a long time. So then, a cousin, you say?
Yes, I'm your long-lost cousin. As I said, my grandfather Arnold von Kepler.
You're going to have to find me a little bit bemused here. I never remember my grandfather Arthur here. Got any sort of paperwork I might be able to see before I decide to let you pass my doorway?
Yes, let me get out my diplomatic pack.
Well, you're not going to say diplomatic pack here, but I'll
Okay.
show you my papers.
Let me show you my papers.
So just for reference, the packs are...
They have like a bunch of different kind of little tools inside of it here. So I'm assuming here that before you came up to the hill here, you would have doctored something probably, so
Okay.
you'd have it. So once again, you're gonna roll for your deception here to see how.
Well, no, this is why these modifiers count. So plus 3 and then plus 2. So that's plus 5.
So I'm 13.
Yes.
So alright. So von Kepler begins studying your papers here. They look fairly legit to him, although he does raise an eyebrow here or there when he's looking through it.
I was so glad to hear of you. You couldn't possibly imagine thoughts going through my mind having to stay in that tavern.
Town is rather puny by my own nature here. I've been thinking of demolishing it and maybe putting in something a little bit nicer. Especially that dwarf down there, giving me the stink eye every single time my friends come by to visit.
Such an awful man.
How often do your friends come by to visit?
Regularly, of course, there, good sir, and you are.
I am her guard,
He keeps me safe.
albeit not necessarily the best, seeing as how I let someone get away with our horses.
My goodness, your horses got stolen.
Yeah, by some highwayman.
Probably
Took our
about.
carriage.
Oh my! Where are you guys traveling to again?
Around.
And
So we were heading on over east, but
And I apologize profusely. My accents are horrible.
No, that's okay. We were traveling east. We were hoping to find a lovely place where we could create a new farm.
a new plantation of sorts.
Clarence.
Really?
But this
now?
certainly isn't it.
Well, this place is definitely not for desirings.
Although you have a beautiful house here.
Why, the finest you can afford. And then, mind you, you hear some screaming in the background all of a sudden, just like the shrillest of shrieking, as if somebody's just screaming into the void, you know, and you're not quite sure where it's from, but it's certainly like muffled. It's going through a couple different either doorways or hallways, something of that nature.
Is someone practicing opera?
No, the wife is just letting off a little bit of steam.
Why is that?
I'd love to meet her.
Nah. My wife is something special. She's, doesn't take to, company this late in the evening.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I was hoping we could impose upon you and stay the night.
Why, of course you can stay the night. You're practically family.
Thank you so very much, good sir.
Wow. This calls for a dinner here tonight. We should have some dinner here.
Will your wife be joining us?
I sure hope so, and hopefully she's in a better mood than right now. I go talk to her about that, but yeah, no, absolutely, we should have a nice, fine dinner here. But why, we should have it out in the garden here. That would be probably the best place to have some nice dinner here today.
Well, you have a lovely view. The garden would be wonderful.
Well, of course. Why don't you follow me? And so, the house again is probably like a 2-story sort of little mansion here, but so you're walking through and you're seeing like trophies, animal trophies all over the walls. You know, you got deer, bear, you know, elk, boars. Like, this guy's a hunter. This guy's been
At his game for a
oh
while.
yeah, no, yeah. This guy is a very good hunter, it would seem. Or if not, like, he's paid a lot of money for whatever's on the walls here.
Do I get some private time with my guard?
Well, keep in mind, like, he's kind of showing you around right now, so he's,
Okay.
you know, like, he's
Okay.
trying to impress upon you how well he's done.
Do we notice anything particularly strange on the wall?
Well, you're gonna have to roll for that.
Let's do it. Some investigation.
Okay.
So that's going
Ooh.
to be an 18.
Gentleman rolls an 18. Okay, so everything in this house is expensive, which is kind of odd considering everything else around the area is not quite so. So there's nice paintings on the wall. There are, the drapes are made of red velvet. Like, everything here is very nice by all accounts. Although one thing you are noticing here or there are tiny little scratches, which look like nail marks of some sort of animal that might have been through here before. Not a big animal, but certainly like a smaller animal.
Like a cougar? Or?
Possibly. Let's see. Did you want to roll for any of your perception or anything like that, Mom?
Let me see what my options are here. I do have perception,
Yes?
so what's something I could roll for? I have perception, so
You can roll for perception. So perception is basically just
okay.
passively looking around, whereas
Okay.
investigation is I'm intently looking around.
I am.
Yeah, he's intently, so he...
I'm 12 plus 2.
12 plus 2. Okay, so 14.
And you have so these little dots mean that
Yeah.
you get the proficiency bonus with it.
Okay, so I'm 12 plus 4.
Yeah.
16.
Okay. So you're walking through the house here, and you smell an awful lot of perfume.
I smell an awful lot of perfume.
Yes, so as though maybe something's being covered up by that perfume, maybe.
Okay.
But there's perfume, incense being all throughout the house. You kind of get, obviously the lights.
Something's being covered up,
Possibly.
and the lights are dim.
Well, no, the lights are not dim, but I mean, like, it is starting to get to the afternoon, so they've started lighting lights, candles in the house, and so you start getting kind of this little bit of like smoke that kind of happens when you light up a house with candles, like kind of little
Haze.
haze, yeah. So you're starting to get that, but like you're not smelling the candles at all. Again, you're smelling mostly this perfume and incense sort of going on here inside the house. So
Okay. So I still have a bag
mm-hmm.
that I lifted off the guy.
Yeah, you can.
If I open the bag, can I find poison in it?
I mean, picked up like a little coin purse, right?
Okay, so the coin purse couldn't have poison in it?
Probably a coin purse. Well, you can check it out if you want when you have like a free moment, seeing as how this guy's showing us around.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to know what's in my coin purse.
Okay. Do you want to open it like in the open, or do you want to be like deceitful about opening it?
I want to be deceitful about it, yeah. I just
Okay.
want to sneak a peek.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
All right. Well, roll for sleight of hand real quickly.
19.
Plus.
3 plus 2.
Okay. So you open up the bag and you find like 3 silver pieces in it. So
Okay.
he didn't have a lot of money here, although there is a coin inside there that looks like a little bit different. It doesn't look like the standard kind of silver coin that you might normally have around here, around for like currency. It looks more like an emblem or something on the coin, maybe.
Some sort of amulet.
No, not amulet necessarily. It more looks like something that you might, kind of like what John has. So it's got different markings on there that are not from the area here. So it looks like it might be special or important.
Okay.
You'd have to roll to figure out what's on the what that kind of coin is, though.
Do I roll for that?
If you have history, that would be. Even if you don't have history, you can.
I
still
do
use-
have history.
Yeah.
We have a benefit to history, but anybody can roll for history.
So that's the thing. So
History.
even though some of these are marked in, that only means you get the bonus with it. You can still do any of these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can roll my d20 for...
History, yep.
You got a 9, so in this case here.
Plus,
4.
so 13.
So the coin still looks odd to you here at the end of the day. It doesn't quite make sense, but what you do recognize on the coin is a emblem that you've seen in many, many towns beforehand.
Oh.
So,
So they all might have the same feudal lord.
possibly.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Do we see the same emblem inside this house?
In this house, no, you do not see any of this emblem here in the house. This guy's banner is that of a deer. Is a deer with a pair of antlers and an anchor.
Is this
Underneath.
emblem on my signet ring or similar to what's on my signet ring?
Yours. I mean, your ring
You
has
made that, you forged
whatever.
that.
Yeah, you forged your ring at the end of the day. It's not like you
Okay.
can change the ring on a daily basis at all, unless
Okay.
you were like a.
I'm not a
jewelist or-
metallurgist. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in either case, I mean, the ring looks like a noble ring, and you've convinced the guards here at least that it is a noble ring here at the end of the day.
Okay.
All
All
so Von Kepler's been showing you the house for here a little bit, and clearly he's had other people help show you around.
We've been shown to our rooms.
Well, actually, speaking of rooms here, there's a elf that comes by, a very kind of butlery sort of elf.
Uh-huh.
And Von Kepler looks at him and is like, Mandatus, my man, I want you to show these glories here. I want you to show them or I'm sorry,
Lady Gloriana.
well, well, again, I mean, you're probably going to be known as Von Kepler here.
Yes, that's true.
So, just because to share the family name, it was like, my cousins have been traveling, and thank goodness we found them here. Their horses got taken. I want you to show them the house. I want you to get them in the guest house here tonight.
Why, thank you.
So, and now, Mendaris is a wood elf. He's a tall elf with nice ears. He's in what looks to be a nice suit here at the end of the day. Very much like the house butler. He's the head butler. And he gives a nod he gives a nod and a bow, and he's going to show you to your rooms.
Okay.
Is he speaking?
He's like, yes, sir, right away, sir. Like, very much of the kind of like,
a lot of deference.
He's taciturn.
Huh?
He's taciturn.
Yeah, I guess that's a way you could describe him. He's not, as you would say, it's not as though he has an opinion about anything necessarily. He's just going through and doing his job.
Gotcha.
So what he does is he leads you outside, and then there's kind of another guest house along the way. It's maybe 100 feet away from the house here. So he leads you toward that here. And as you get closer to it here, you go inside, and it's not well lit inside there, but it's obviously now a little bit. It's now getting later in the evening. It's now about 5:30, 6 o'clock at night. So the sun's gone down, and he's got a light. He's got a little candelabra with him to kind of show you around. I need you to let's see here. I need you to roll for your perception here.
15 plus 8. Okay, I've got 15 plus. What have I got here?
So you add your modifier, and then
So
that is your
she's
proficiency.
got a
19.
19. What do you got, John?
I got a 9.
You got a 9? Okay. So he opens up a door and kind of leads you into this room. Now this room is seems a lot bigger than it might normally be. And he walks you forward here, and he introduces you to the room.
Hello, room.
But again, you can't really see around you at all necessarily. But he introduces you into the room and offers you to step forward here a little bit. And then I need everyone to roll for dexterity.
Oh.
Dice?
No, so saving rolls are always still going to be a d20. The other dice you would only really use for damage, depending on what kind of spell.
5.
Oh, no.
What'd you get? A 4?
So I got a 5, and then... So you
I
would
got
add
7.
plus 4.
Yeah.
No, she got a 9. Okay. Both
We
of you
both failed.
Okay, so both of you walk forward, and the floor underneath you gives away.
But I have a lot of dexterity. Can't I grab something?
Well, that was the that was the roll you were. That was the roll you.
That was.
That was that roll here essentially. So you fall, and you fall what feels to be maybe about 15 feet or so.
Am I in a dungeon?
Well, now you need to now you need to roll for perception again one more time.
I'm 17.
Okay, yeah, that's enough for me.
15.
All right, so you walk in, and now mind you, like your dark vision has come into view here now because because you're not immediately right by this candelabra anymore because that was blinding you a little bit from the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because again, tieflings do have dark vision.
You can see in the night naturally.
Yeah, you see in the night naturally, but not if there's another light source kind of obstructing your view. Think like night vision glasses here.
Okay.
You now realize that you're in a pit. You're like in some sort of well-constructed sort of gladiatorial pit.
Is anything else in the pit with us?
Well, you can see different lined cages kind of around the pit that are kind of embedded into the wall. So like there's a big circle and then there's kind of caged doors on either side that look like they'll open. And from those cages, you start seeing eyes staring at you. Lots of different eyes.
Are they humanoid or are they animal?
You gotta have to roll for that. You cannot tell what kind they are.
The light's in my eyes.
Well, no, you're just seeing eyes. You're just seeing eyes, or you can at least sense the presence here. There's some weird noises coming from some of these, but you don't know exactly what they are.
But the gates are all closed.
The gates are all closed, yes.
My friends and I, we always joke whenever any of us rolls low enough that it fails, especially when it's like investigation. The explanation is always just the light. The sunlight got in your eyes, even if we're in a cave.
Okay. Yeah, which is can't happen here, which is what was happening beforehand with the candelabra.
Yeah.
So suddenly, different kind of torches are kind of lighting automatically around the way here, and you get kind of a bellowy sort of laugh that's kind of coming in here all of a sudden.
Do we recognize the laugh?
Yes, you've been listening to him for about the last hour.
The Lord of the Manor. Mr.
Von Kepler kind of approaches. If you look up, you see the ledge that you fell off of, or in some cases were pushed off of. And you see the butler there, and you see the Mr. Von Kepler, and he's staring down at you. He's like, "Never did trust tieflings. It's a mighty nice ring. I'll have to collect it and add to my collection here, but Missy, you're not a cousin of mine." So you...
Wait, what can I do with that coin?
Eldritch Blast!
Okay, well... Alright, everyone roll for initiative.
Okay. What did you just do?
I attacked him with a magic spell.
Okay, I'm not rolling, right?
Everyone's going to have to roll here.
So this is essentially... We're now going to be doing initiative, which means we're going to be starting combat, essentially.
Okay.
Well, because John started it here.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay.
So right now what we're doing is called initiative. So this basically just decries who goes first, who goes second, so on and so forth.
Okay, so that...
Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, one. I'm last.
Yes.
Well, add your initiative to it, so you have a 3 here.
I have a 3. Okay.
I have a 16.
And a 16 for John. Alright, hold on.
Ooh, that's pretty. I like this set.
I tried.
What are my spells?
So I wrote them down.
Vicious Mockery, that doesn't help me.
Well, kind of.
Oh, can I have a saving throw?
Well, so what it does is that it causes whoever you're casting to, they have to do it.
Oh, okay.
And so they have to get higher than 13 because your DC is 13. So I also wrote it there if you're...
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Alright.
Whereas I have spells that are... I basically just have to roll to see if I hit. Whereas most of your spells, they force the enemy to make a saving throw of some kind.
I can disguise myself for up to 1 hour.
Yes, with magic.
Well, that comes in handy.
Yes, it does.
And it might.
Whereas most of mine are offensive or defensive. I do not have many spells. I don't have any spells that are useful outside of combat.
I have a weird silver coin. I don't know what it is.
Well, also you can roll history. You can also roll Arcana. So Arcana is under intelligence. So Arcana basically, you're sensing whether or not there's any sort of magical component to it.
Well, do I find out if any of these animals used to be people?
Well, let's go ahead and resolve John's thing here first, because he's attacking, and then you can roll there afterwards.
Yeah.
So Eldritch Blast is a evocation cantrip, as it's a single action, so this will be John's action here.
Mm-hmm.
And so
1d10 force.
The way it's described here is a beam of crackling energy streaks toward a creature within range, making a ranged spell attack against the target. On hit, the target takes 1d10 force damage. The creature the spell creature more than one beam when you reach higher levels, 2 beams at 5th level. So
So on and so forth. Oh, I am attacking the Lord.
he's attacking the Lord here. All right.
Yeah, for
So
throwing us into this pit.
he gets an 11 plus what modifiers here, sir?
+3, +2, so that's going to be a 16.
Okay.
Crap.
All right.
What's his AC?
Hmm?
What's his AC?
You didn't get it. So the well, thank you. Why? So the butler here basically catches your Eldritch Blast and takes a hit from it. So roll 1d10.
Huh. Okay. And then, yeah, 4.
I wanted to make the butler our friend.
So the butler basically gets in front of the Lord here, Mr. Von Kepler, brings up his arms, and you basically burn his
Sleeve.
his sleeves here, and you hurt his arms. But you notice something on his arms.
Oh, what do I see?
You see tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
What do tattoos mean?
I mean a lot of different things.
I'll give
It
you
could be magical.
I will give you guys the chance to roll for knowledge here, if you want. If you want to either roll for history, arcana, or whatever you want to roll for to try to figure out what's going on with the. If you notice anything about those tattoos,
I'm gonna do Arcana, and I got a 19.
you got a 19. Okay. You notice those tattoos means that he has magic scrolled all over his arms, druidic magic.
Oh.
Because remember, he's a wood elf.
Hmm.
And those tattoos are not simple magic either. Those tattoos are rather high level by comparison. He's basically got spells ready to go on his arms if necessary.
Shoot.
So,
Okay. This is gonna be fun.
Did you want to roll anything, Mom?
I wanted to ask the Lord when dinner's served. He promised us dinner on the porch outside.
Well, I did promise to have you for dinner. I just wasn't intending on you being alive when I was having it.
Oh.
So then, welcome to my fun pit. I have collected a great many of different creatures here from my travels. The ones that didn't survive you saw on the walls. But must say there, my fine little tiefling here, you've rather upset my butler. And I don't take kindly to you attacking my butler.
I don't take kindly being thrown into a pit.
I don't take kindly to being lied to.
Technically, I didn't lie.
You were with her, God. Or should I say,
Are you calling me a liar?
yes.
What makes you think that I would ever lie to you?
Well, your papers did not look right. Your ring is not of my family crest, which has always been an anchor. We might have different animal beasts that denote us, but yours did not
What
have
is
an
on my
anchor
coin?
on it.
Well,
What is on my coin?
You're going to have to roll for that. You still don't know what's on the coin, necessarily. Sorry.
the light got in your eyes.
No, you study the coin here, but you still don't know anything necessarily about the coin here. Von Kepler sees you looking at the coin here, though, and is kind of perturbed that you're not paying attention to him. Alrighty. So, Von Kepler looks like he walks away for a second, and looks like you hear something being pulled, and one of the gates opens up.
Ew.
I'd like to disguise myself as Mrs. Von Kepler.
Well, you don't know what Miss Von Kepler looks like.
It says I can disguise myself.
Yes, but if you don't know what she looks like here,
That's the thing. You can disguise yourself. You can do a great multitude of things, but especially with forgery, you need to have, for example, like when it comes to forging documents, you need to have seen an example of what these documents might look like. Same thing with if you were going to transform yourself into a person, you need to have at least seen or met that person.
Okay, can I charm Mr. Lord Von Kepler? I've charmed.
Well, he's not in your view anymore necessarily.
Yeah, he left.
The butler is kind of like watching over you here, but like.
Can I charm the butler?
She does have charm person.
Okay.
I'd like to charm you, Mr. Butler.
All right. Just a second here.
So here, I also wrote essentially what each of your spells does.
All right. So, charm person. You attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. You must make a wisdom saving throw and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until... If it fails its saving throw, it's charmed by you until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. So, this is going to be a free action here. So basically, it's your wisdom saving throw here.
So you actually don't roll.
I don't roll. Okay.
No. So your DC. So your saving throw. So your DC right here is 13.
Wow.
So essentially, the elf needs to roll a 13 or higher to succeed.
7.
Okay.
The elf
Plus
is
his...
now charmed. Well, plus.
Mr. Elf,
Well,
So,
I can tell you're a fine man. A noble elf. Please, please help us.
the Lord must be entertained.
I'm a dancer. I can dance his socks off of anyone.
Well, he doesn't really acknowledge you anymore. I'm not gonna say whether you passed or failed here, though. I leave that up to my funness.
What does that mean?
we don't know whether or not he was charmed. We don't know if the spell worked.
Why?
It looks as though something happens to his eyes when you charm him, but you can't tell if it really got off or not necessarily.
I'm a charmer from way back.
You also must remember he is covered in all sorts of
Magical spells.
Magical spells and tattoos all over his body. Yeah.
So that might be protecting him.
All right. So the first gates open up, and a patron opens up. This creature is what comes out of the first...
Oh, Perryton.
A Perryton, excuse me. So this is the first creature that comes out.
It's a antlered winged hawk.
Yep.
It's all rainbowy.
Yep.
It is all rainbowy.
It's very colorful, yes.
But it has a deer face.
So it's kind of like a deer sort of head and antlers, but it's pretty much like the body of a hawk. It's about like half the size of a human in some cases, probably more the size of a dwarf. It shrieks something annoying and awful here.
Can I charm it?
You can't use your charm person spell anymore. You can only use it once per battle.
Okay.
So, but again, it might come into effect here. It may or may not have worked.
Okay.
So,
Here, birdie, birdie, birdie.
so you guys have obviously had your weapons with you because you wouldn't travel without weapons in this day and age.
Mm-hmm.
So, this particular creature rolled low. It rolled a 1 for initiative.
Cool.
So you guys get to go first for attacking if you want to.
Cool.
I want to hit it with my dagger.
Okay. So
I can fly.
so John gets to go first because you got a 3 for your initiative here.
So that's what the roll at the beginning was. Initiative just
Okay.
decrees who goes first,
Right.
second, third, fourth.
Can
so
I
on and so
can I
forth.
flutter above it and distract it?
On your turn?
You'll have to wait till your turn first. So, all right. So, Mr. John, you get to do whatever it is you want to do to this first.
So
I will say this though. This creature looks a little bit smaller. Actually, here, roll for perception real quickly.
oh, dirty dice.
Would you 8 plus?
Plus 1, so 9.
You notice that this thing looks a little bit smaller than normal, like it's hungry.
Okay.
So it looks a little bit smaller, so it looks like it may have not have had anything to eat in a while.
Okay.
So it looks a little bit more ravenous than normal.
All right. So I'm gonna rush up to it,
Okay.
and I am wielding 2 scimitars, so I'm going to do 2 rolls.
Okay.
One is an action, one is a bonus action. Plus 4, so
So one of them here was an 18, so one of them is a 22, and another one was an 8.
well, so 22 and then 12.
Yeah.
Oh, 22, then 12. My apologies. Okay.
Oh wait, no, wait. You're right. 22 and then
The bonus action, I don't think, gets an advantage. It doesn't get to take advantage.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 22 and 8.
Yeah, so 22 and 8. Okay. So you do get, yes, you do get 1 hit off of it.
So
So,
that'll be 2 plus my strength modifier, so that's going to be 4.
okay, so
4
he,
slashing.
okay, so he takes 6 points of damage here. And he is not happy.
He was not happy.
No.
I'm fluttering above it,
Okay.
and I want to attack it with my dagger.
Okay. Are you going to throw your dagger, or are you going to swing your dagger?
I'm going to swing my dagger.
Okay.
You also have a rapier for that exact.
Yes. I would actually recommend a rapier here in this
I'm
case.
going to swing my rapier.
Yeah, because that will do more damage here at the end of the day. All right, so go ahead and let's see here. So you gotta, okay, you hit it.
Okay.
So now you roll your 8-sided die. That is a D8.
A D8.
Yes.
And then after that, you add your dexterity modifier to it.
4. So 2 plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do another 6 points of damage here. So it screams and it yells, and you are, and it's not very happy that it just got poked and slashed here twice here. And so it's going to go after John here first because it went and attacked it because it's easier because it's.
Can I just fly out?
Yeah, you are a winged tiefling. Huh.
I want to help you, but, you know.
Yeah, if you. I mean, well, you just spent your turn stabbing
Yeah,
it, so
I know.
no.
Yeah. So, all right. So my guy here is going to go ahead and attack.
We've
And it
got like
gets-
7 other animals, right? There are 8 gates.
Well, let's see what happens.
So it rolled a 18.
Yeah, my armor class is 12.
Okay.
So that hits. Bummer.
So you take 3 points of damage here. And it is your turn again here, John.
Alrighty. Question. Can you look up a spell for me? Because I don't know if it's a bonus action or if it's a regular action.
Okay.
So I would like to cast Armor of Agathis on myself.
Armor of Agathis.
The idea of this spell essentially being that I'm coating myself in ice, essentially, to heal myself a little bit.
Okay.
So, Armor of Agathis is a protective magical force around you, manifesting as a spectral frost that covers you and your gear. You gain +5 temporary hit points for the duration. If a creature hits you with a melee attack while you have these hit points, the creature takes 5 cold damage.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
I have Comprehend Languages, which is a spell that allows me to understand language for an hour. Does that include understanding...
Animals, no.
No, that'd be more like animal handling in this case here.
There's also actual spells that's like speak with animals.
What if I believe it used to be a person?
Well, here. Sorry, the question I wanted to ask, is that a bonus action or that a full action?
It's a full action.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, this is a one full action casting time.
Yeah,
So, did you wish to do that?
indeed I do.
Okay. I'm going to say that you get an extra 5 points of frost damage here until the end of battle,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't make you roll for it.
Cool.
Alrighty. All right, it is Mom's turn. Mom, what do you wish to do? You want to try to fly out here?
I have questions.
Okay. Yes.
It would seem wrong to fly out and leave you. That would be really wrong. I'm your mother.
It would be a little rude.
Yeah. But I'm tempted. Okay.
Make a quick perception check real quickly for me.
Okay, but I have a question.
I know, but I want to help you out here for
20.
Oh, dang. Okay.
20 plus 4.
So whenever you roll a 20,
it's considered a natural crit.
Yeah. So essentially, that's an automatic success.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And you so succeed so well. But like.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you've noticed on the ground here now that the room has become a little bit more well lit here, are other weapons that have been discarded on the ground here. One of them is a repeating crossbow.
I have dexterity.
Yes.
Repeating crossbow would be really good with that.
I'd like to take the repeating crossbow.
Okay. It's a little bit further out of the way here, so
I need to roll for it.
No, you don't need to roll for it. You're looking around the ground and you basically saw it. You're like, I want that.
I'm going to flutter to it.
Okay, so you go and pick up the repeating crossbow.
Uh-huh.
And what do you want to do with that repeating crossbow?
I want to shoot the phoenix thing.
Okay, alrighty.
It's called a parroted.
A parroted.
Alrighty, so just a second here. Let me look up crossbows real quickly.
I have a repeating crossbow.
Yes, you do.
Oh, hot damn.
It's like a medieval machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crossbow.
So I can't disguise myself as the wife
No, because you've not met her.
But could I fly out and disguise myself as the elf?
Theoretically, yes.
The elf is still kind of watching you, though, by the way.
I don't care if there's two of us. I mean...
So the other thing, too, when it comes to illusions, is that it's quite literally an illusion. If someone actually went out of their way to, like, touch you, they would realize, like, if you made yourself appear taller, their arm would go through what they thought was your shoulder and would actually physically touch you. They would realize that, like...
They would realize this is an illusion.
Yeah.
So.
Upon physical, like, examination.
So I couldn't confuse the Lord of the Manor by pretending to be his elf.
If he decided to actually investigate, which I'm pretty sure he would probably realize that, like, this is a trick. That's the thing, because that's minor illusion. Like, there are higher level spells, like, there's a spell called Polymorph that actually lets you physically, like, transform into whomever you want.
My thought right now is I would like to kill the phoenix and then go into the phoenix's cage, because that might lead to a tunnel that would let me get to the wife.
Well, that might be what's happening, but we'd also have to investigate that little cage first, but we also got to kill this Perryton first.
Okay, so I need you to roll these twice.
All of them?
Yes. Again, it's a nice repeating crossbow.
Oops, sorry.
All right, so hold on just a second here. So 20, 14, 3, and
natural
5. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and roll them one more time. 2, 3, 8, and 4. Okay.
God, could that be worse?
Okay. So you got 3 hits.
Could, believe it or not.
Okay.
So here, for crits, are we doing double damage, or...?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the thing. If you roll a natural 20 in combat, that's an automatic critical hit, so that's double damage.
Okay.
On just that one hit.
Okay. How do you remember all this?
You play this. You play this long enough that you kind of remember most of it here. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. So she needs at least 2 d10s.
So.
Okay.
So this is going to be so 2 d10s here are going to decide how much damage you do here.
That's right, yeah.
So this is going to be for the critical here.
7 and 7.
So 14, and then one more d10 for the second so that one here is 3. Okay, so a total of 17, and then one more because you had 3 hits.
8.
So 11 plus 14 is 25.
No. Again, so she got 2 7s, 14, 3, which is 17, and then 8, right?
Yeah.
So that means 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the repeating crossbow is out of bolts, but you've basically killed this bird.
So I can't. And I can't go back and collect my bolts.
You can, but you'd have to wait until the end of the. You'd have to wait until you have a moment to do so. You would end up taking an action to recover the bolts.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to take an action to load it back up.
So your next turn, essentially.
So yeah, you'd have to wait till your next turn to do all that, but you couldn't attack again after that. That would take up your entire turn. It's just reloading this repeater crossbow.
What do we want to do from here?
Well, now that we've killed this thing, I'm assuming other things are going to be popping out.
So now it's my turn again, because now it's the next initiative for the next monster I have. So the butler looks at you and walks away.
Rude.
Yes. He walks away. And you hear a little bit of muffled sounds here, though. From up on the ledge. They're Kepler's and the butler's noises. There's a fight between them happening.
It's a fight between them.
Yes.
Like a fight with words or an actual, like, pushing around?
You hear a suddenly bestial roar.
Oh.
And
Cool.
suddenly the noble... Hold on just a second. What was that?
13?
13. Okay. The noble here suddenly flies into the arena.
Flies.
Not flying as if he is fluttering there. Flying as if somebody grabbed him and launched him into the arena.
So the pissed off elf.
Yes. Who's not an elf anymore, and when he comes back, it's a bear looking down on you.
So
Your charm person worked.
So
He wanted to make sure you were safe first, and then walked over and grabbed the Lord and tossed him in.
So here's the thing. There's a lot of different magic users in Dungeons & Dragons. So, for example, my character is a warlock. He got his magic by making a deal. With a kraken. Warlocks just make deals with other beings. Druids get their magic from Mother Nature, and a main thing about druids is that they get this ability called wild shape, which literally lets them transform into different animals. Or monsters. Or dinosaurs, even.
Okay.
And so on and so forth. There are also wizards, which are, think more like Harry Potter, where they literally have to study magic. There are sorcerers, who are just naturally born with all sorts of magical power inside of them. Like maybe their father was a genie, or they're the descendant of a dragon or something. And then wizards, warlocks, sorcerers, druids, clerics are basically just praying to whomever their god is. You know, maybe there's, you know, a light god or a fire god or a thunder god, someone that they're just like basically praying to, and that god is granting them powers.
Okay. All
There's
right.
a lot of different kinds of magic in D&D.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of fun.
So now I have questions. I've charmed our elf. Oh, yay!
Yep.
And I can fly, but I'm not very strong. I assume I can't fly and carry him out.
Well, you can't fly. You can't fly too. You can't fly more than like 5 or 6 feet off the ground with the repeating crossbow. It's kind of heavy for you because you have low strength, so you don't have enough
Okay.
strength to kind of.
But I want to
fly.
keep it.
Yeah, and you can, but you can't fly out of the pit with it right now. You would have to drop it.
Can I explore the cage and see if there's a back end to it? Because I can't see the back end to it. I don't know if it's a tunnel or it's a cage.
You can just drop the crossbow to me, and then
But keep in mind, like combat hasn't ended yet.
yeah.
Oh.
We're not done yet.
We're not done.
Combat hasn't ended yet here. So
Okay.
So the nobleman here drops into the pit here, and he's looking back up at his butler and trying to figure out what on earth happened here. And Mandaris, what on earth are you doing? It's like, and he's got a little bit more bruised, and he gets up and the butler kind of just stares down at him here. He's very stoic at this point here because
Now,
he's a bear.
He's a bear. Will the bear help me out?
The bear is continuing to kind of wait up there, but he's not. He's kind of like just watching everything happening here now.
You're a gladiator. Can you kill the Lord?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
part of the problem here is that the Lord, while they were scuffling, another gate opened up.
oh. So this thing also might potentially attack the Lord for us. But let's see what's behind door number 3. Or I guess 2 in this case, but so.
John, will you flip that coin for me, please?
Tails.
Tails. The last thing that opens up is... The last gate opens up here. It is a chimera.
Neat.
Oh, wow. Okay. So this thing is a ram, lion, dragon.
Oh, there's various heads on there. Chimeras are kind of a mixture of a couple different animals in some cases here. In this case here, it is a ram and a lion. Not the dragon aspect, but it does have wings.
Okay.
Cool.
And a very kind of spiny sort of tail here.
The ram I don't find very frightening.
No, but the lion is definitely not a big friend of yours here.
He looks hungry.
The Lord now looks very perturbed here. He looks quite scared. But he reaches onto the ground and he pulls out a longsword.
Oh.
And he kind of readies his sword as if he's going to need to defend himself against the chimera. He's almost not even paying attention to either of you two right now.
Can he attack him while he's attacking the chimera?
Well, it's the noble's turn right now.
Okay.
So
I could.
You could theoretically stab him in the back, but
Yeah. But I'm not a rogue, so I wouldn't get extra damage for it. Rogues can do that. Rogues actually get bonuses to literally, it's called sneak attack.
so.
13.
All right.
Before modifiers.
Before modifiers, yes. So the nobleman goes and swings his sword at the chimera. He hits, and he definitely hits and does a little bit of damage here to the chimera here. Let's see here. Longsword is a D10, right?
1d8, actually.
1d8.
Well, d10 if you're using both hands.
He's using both hands.
Yes. So yeah, d10. There are certain weapons that have what's called a versatile. Like, the weapons have different attributes. Like, your rapier has a light attribute, which means if you wanted to, you could wield two of them at the same time. If you had them. Longsword, on the other hand, is called versatile. So basically, you can use it with one hand, where it's a d8, or if you decide to use it with two, it's more damage.
Okay.
But that means at the same time, you wouldn't be allowed to use a shield
Okay.
or something else.
Because your hand's taken it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're literally using both hands to do it. In most other campaigns, if I play a character that has a longsword, I usually don't use the versatile attribute because I preferred my character to be using a shield because that would increase my armor class and thus make me more difficult to hit.
Yes.
Okay.
So, all right. So he's going to go ahead and attack the chimera.
7.
Okay, so he does...
Oh, no,
7,
one.
1. I'm
One.
sorry, 1.
One, okay. So he goes up to the chimera, he swings really hardly in the chimera, does nothing. He basically, like, puts, like, the tiniest little scratches on him. Excuse me, not 1 damage. He does...
It is merely a flesh wound.
He does 4 pieces of damage onto this thing. It doesn't do a lot of damage to it at all. But now the chimera is pissed.
3.
He swings at the...
Lord of the Manor.
His tail swings at the Lord here, and the Lord dodges gracefully. But then he also has
graceful.
But he also has a second attack.
15.
He bites the Lord here.
In the neck?
No, in the
Just
arm.
in-
Let's figure out what the damage is first here. So his bite.
He could have swung his tail specifically to make the Lord more easier to bite.
I need 2d6s. May I? Thank you. 3, 7. Okay. He bites the nobleman's arm. That nobleman can't use that left arm anymore. So he's going to be swinging this two-handed sword with one hand now.
Ha.
And the chimera now looks at both of you
Oh.
and doesn't like either of you either. Although the nobleman starts shrieking in pain. He's like, I like that arm!
I'm going to fly out and have a conversation with the elf.
So it's actually John's turn first.
Oh,
John
okay.
gets to go
I
first.
figure if I can talk the elf
So-
into jumping in as a bear, you know.
You might. But that'll be after
Okay.
your turn. So I do kind of want to maintain my distance a little bit, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast Ray of Frost.
Alright, the gentleman decides he wishes to cast Ray of Frost.
So there are generally two different types of spells. There are spells that force someone to make a saving throw, which is basically someone else has to roll and get beyond a certain number. That's what we call a DC. Mm-hmm. Or there are what are called spell attacks. And so these work just like normal attacks with like a rapier or a longsword or scimitars or anything else. You essentially just have to roll. And so...
All right, go for it.
So 12 before modifiers. With modifiers, that is going to be a 17.
You hit.
Woohoo! So that's going to be a D8 of cold damage. So that's going to be 5 cold damage, and now the...
Any modifiers to that?
Nah, so that's the other thing, too. So spell attacks do not get modifiers unless explicitly stated by an ability or something else.
Something else there.
Okay.
But
we'll let you do one. What else are you going to do?
But so one of the other abilities of Ray of Frost is that now the Chimera's movement speed is reduced by 10. So I'm backing up, and now I'm slowing it down a little bit.
I will give you the chance to roll a perception to see if you find anything in the ground.
So that'll be a 14 plus 1, so that'll be a 15.
You notice the ground is littered with different weapons and items here. Something kind of catches your interest. Roll an Arcana.
Ooh. Damn it!
1.
I hate this die. I should not have used this die. I knew it. Yeah, okay.
Go ahead and roll it again.
Thank you.
8.
There's a dagger.
Wait, Arcana, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be an 11.
Okay. You realize there's a dagger on the ground that has that seems to have some sort of magical properties to it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not 100% certain what those magical properties are necessarily, but they don't seem negative.
Cool.
All right.
So you grab the dagger?
I do. I put one of my scimitars back, so now I'm dual-wielding a scimitar and this magical dagger of sorts.
Okay. Mom, it's now your turn.
I would like to flutter out.
Okay.
So I'm going to hand you I'm going to leave at your feet
Cool.
how tall is this pit?
So this pit is essentially in a cavern. So it looks like a stone sort of cavern, sort of that's naturally been either mined out or weathered out by rain and water. The roof has got like a hole in it that's not a symmetrical hole. It looks like, again, a natural hole that was kind of made by the nature and elements. And so you can start to see some of the moonlight sort of like creeping into this pit here. Essentially, it's about, give or take, about 30 feet tall.
Okay, so I can't carry my
Yeah. So if you wanted to fly up to the ledge where the bear butler is at, you would have to drop the repeating crossbow. But at this point, the repeating crossbow does not have any more bolts in it right now. So, and for you to go and reload it here, you'd have to go to the Periton, take the bolts that you shot at it out, and load it back in. And even then, you would only load up about 4 bolts.
Okay. So does he have a backpack that he can put it in?
Well, you can drop it on the ground. It's not like it's going to go anywhere. Again,
Okay,
what's interesting is that the ground is littered with different weapons. That's kind of semi-buried by dirt and gravel and the natural remains of the ground here.
It's like a gladiator pit.
Yes, this is literally a gladiator pit.
Okay. So I'm going to drop it at your feet.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. So now you can fly up.
I can fly up. I want to fly up and talk to my charmed bear here.
Okay. Now the charmed bear is a bear right now. He can't talk to you, but he can acknowledge you.
Okay.
So, what would you like to talk to the bear about?
My dearest elf bear, I'm so impressed.
Okay.
And you are just obviously a very strong, very vigorous bear.
Well, you don't have to convince him of this. You can tell him basically almost anything you want. He'll take care of you at this point.
He's been charmed. It's the spell worked. He's for sure under your control.
Yeah. So basically, if you told him to start dancing, he would start dancing. If you told him to do a jig, he would do a jig. If you told him to kill himself, he would kill himself. But he'll do basically almost anything you want him to do right now for you.
Well, I suspect that all the animals down there are really pissed at the Lord and not at us. And so, could you please take out that thing? Chimera.
Okay, so you would like to send the butler to go and to attack the chimera as well.
Yes.
Okay. Keep in mind that if he gets hurt at all, he might lose his charmed. He might have his charmed.
I'm trying to save my son.
That's true.
Well, yes, but if the elf gets damaged, then the elf might realize, oh, I've been charmed. Why'd you do that? I'm going to attack you now. Because right now he's under the effects of a spell.
Well, okay, what are my other options here?
Well, that's...
I can't help you on this particular point. I apologize.
Yeah. This is the sort of the fun of D&D, is trying to navigate these types of situations.
Okay, well, because I can't disguise myself as the elf because the elf is now a bear. And I can't...
Well, you can still disguise yourself as an elf. It's just it's dubious of what good that'll do you necessarily.
I could walk past the guards and leave.
In theory, you could walk past the guards and leave here.
But then I'm going to leave my son.
Well, I mean, what you can do here, okay, so I'll paint this picture for you here. If you wanted to, you could rescue your son, and then leave the nobleman and the butler to their own devices here. But keep in mind that the entire point of coming to this town was to try to find a way to make money for in this town. If the nobleman and the butler here survive, the chimera here, they're going to know who you are and might come after you. Because again, at this point here,
I want the bear in the pit.
Can you roll for Arcana real quickly for me?
What's Arcana?
So basically you were just studying something to see if there are any sort of magical properties about it.
Okay, so which dice?
So you're going to roll a d20.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
all of these skills require a d20.
Okay, 7. Crap.
Well, no. So plus your wisdom, so that's going to be +2.
So it's a 9. You can tell that the druid is just a second here. You might need to make one more roll. Roll for history. You have bonuses in history?
4.
So
this
8.
druid looks important, but you're not sure why.
He's magical, though.
Yeah, all druids are magical.
He's magical and he's important.
He seems important. You're not necessarily certain why or how.
So I might want to save him too.
Well, he might be of use to you in some sort of way, shape, or form. Perhaps.
So I don't want him to get hurt. Okay.
Well, you can't. I'm intentionally being vague because you didn't roll high enough here. John can try rolling here as well.
Okay. Here. I have minor illusion.
Okay.
Can I create a sound that makes the Lord and the
Chimera
turn and look the other way, and I and John can shuttle into the cage that the other thing was in and see if there's a back door to it?
You can.
I would like to do that.
Okay.
So I would like to use my minor illusion.
Yep. So that is a single action here, I believe.
So you only get one action per turn.
Yes.
So your action is going to be used to... Well, no. So you only have one action per turn. Some actions there are also considered bonus actions. So sometimes you can just do an extra small thing and then do a big thing. But
So as an example here, you saw the crossbow and you picked it up. That was considered, I gave you a free action for that, which is picking it up. And then you got to fire it.
Yeah.
So that was basically your free action there.
Okay, so if I make the sound and it distracts them...
If it distracts them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then can he play off of that and hit them while they're distracted?
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
It all depends on your success here at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether or not they're actually successfully distracted by the sound.
I'm willing to try that.
Right.
What do you think?
You do you.
Okay. All right. 14 plus...
Plus she's going to be, I believe it's your wisdom here?
My wisdom is +2?
Yeah, so that'd be 16.
Okay. What kind of illusion do you want to make? You can make a... You're trying to make a sound to distract them, right?
Yes.
Okay.
A roar.
Okay.
I want a bear roar so that they think the elf is there even though the elf isn't there. Because it is kind of dark in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
and we can see relatively fine because we have dark vision.
Right.
We're tiefling.
Oh, there's lights that have come
That's
around the arena here, so it's well lit now. You have the ability to kind of see all around you. You can see that the other cages here.
We want to distract both of them.
Okay, so this is kind of the X right now is where the the Chimera is, and the Noble is kind of right next to him. You're right now kind of floating around in the air, I'm assuming.
Okay. Yes,
And John's obviously on the ground, and this is the Butler Bear over here.
Okay.
And so these little yellow lines here are obviously different cages here.
Well, I've charmed the Butler Bear.
Mhm.
Is the Butler Bear in the thing with us?
He's on the ledge right now watching over it.
Okay, so we can't get to the Butler Bear, but we could get to the yellow door.
You can get to, yeah. So this yellow door over here is the one that's opened up here, actually,
Okay.
and so has this one here as well. So
Oh,
this
that's
is the one.
nice.
Yeah. Oh, what, the pen or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
have
why.
a pen, but
yeah, that's
I
what.
don't know how to use it yet.
This is why I have a Surface, is to play. This is
Yeah,
why this is
okay.
why I brought this instead of the pen and paper. So
Okay.
both these two yellow spots here are doors that have opened up and no longer have beasts inside them. So if you wanted to, you could make a noise to kind of distract over here if you wanted to.
Yes, that's exactly where I want the noise.
Okay. So the noise is going to happen over here. Okay.
All right.
Saving throws.
19.
The nobleman is not. The nobleman does not get.
Distracted.
Here's a noise. Hears a noise and doesn't care at all. He thinks it's just another one of his creatures getting annoyed because he's got a lot of them.
Okay.
The Chimera does look though.
Okay.
So Chimera is now looking kind of in the opposite direction here. The nobleman decides. Now it's the nobleman's turn, and he decides that he's going to go ahead and attack the Chimera once again, and he does hit. And then, if I may borrow a D8.
Yes, you may.
Where's your 8? Perfect. He does another 6 points of damage to the Chimera. The Chimera, because it got hit and is distracted, is not paying attention to you two at all. He's only paying attention to the Lord.
Can we run?
The Lord...
Could.
Ooh,
Oh, is that a 1?
yeah.
So, you know how we talked about nat 20s earlier, right? How they
Yeah.
are just an automatic success? So, a nat 1, a natural 1, is the lowest you can possibly get. So that not only is an automatic failure, but that means you failed so spectacularly in doing something that you wanted to do that there will be harsh consequences. So, for example, if you wanted to roll athletics, for example, like to jump over a gorge, if you did a nat 20, not only did you jump over the gorge, but you, like, did a flip over it and, like, landed on a little coin purse that had, like, 20 gold.
Okay.
But if you rolled a nat 1, not only did you not jump over the gorge, but you fell and hit every single rock on the way down. And
Right.
got
If you
serious damage.
remember, this is the house on fire and there's a kitten inside.
Yeah.
A natural 20 means not only did you get the kitten, but when you came out of the house, you did a backflip. You tossed the cat into the air. You did like 2 backflips, and then when you landed, you then caught the cat, and like everyone gave you a standing applause.
Okay.
Versus if you rolled a natural 1, you ran into the house, you grabbed the cat, but then you tripped and fell and knocked yourself out.
And possibly landed on the cat.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay. So you got a 1 there. So what
Yeah.
happened?
So the Chimera heard the noise here and decided to run toward it. Basically, because it turned its back and the nobleman took a swipe at its butt, essentially. And that spooked the Chimera, and he ran toward to one of the walls here. He ran into the wall, though, because he ran at full speed because he was startled. And he not only hit both of his heads, but he did 9 points of damage
Oof.
to himself as a result. Keep in mind, though, the Chimera has 89 hit points here.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. So.
I forgot to describe the Chimera. The Chimera is about 10 feet long.
Okay. Okay.
It's not a small creature.
Okay.
Cool.
So what is the status of the Lord right now?
The Lord has got his left arm like he's bleeding pretty profusely. It's almost limp at his side if it weren't for the fact that he can still kind of move his elbow. Like he's got like big gorge marks all over his hand and his.
How fast is he?
He's already done his action here at this point here. So taking a swipe at the Chimera was his action.
Okay. So could we run out our door?
Well, again, so there's not any noticeable doorways or stairs that lead up out of this pit.
Well, how the hell are you supposed to get out of the pit? I mean, I can fly, but then I leave him.
Okay.
Carefully. You get out of the pit carefully.
So what there's an option here to do is it's called passing the turn, which means that John can ready himself for something and let you do something first in order for him to then do something. So you've heard of this before, right, John?
Yes.
Yeah. So essentially the notion here is that the way the initiative is working right now is that it's John, then you, the nobleman, and the chimera. The chimera technically has a higher initiative than John, but because you always go around in a circle, right now it's at John's turn and then your turn.
Right.
So if you wanted to, you could do your turn, and then it becomes the nobleman's turn, but then John gets to take his turn last.
So what would we do with that?
So again,
what's
if
the
you wanted
tactical advantage?
So if you wanted to go up to the ledge, you didn't. If
Your pack probably has a rope in it.
yes, your pack. Every adventurer pack at least has a rope in it somewhere.
Okay,
But if you get to the ledge,
Pat-
there might be something up there as well. Wink, wink,
okay,
nudge, nudge.
okay. So you're going to pass your turn?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to fly up to the ledge.
Okay, I'm going to consider this a free action to fly up to the ledge,
Okay.
and so
I'd like to take my rope and toss it down to my son.
do a quick perception check real quickly.
See if there's something up there.
Oh. 13 plus 4?
17.
There is a lever that says stairs.
I'd like to hit the lever that says stairs.
Okay. So this is going to be your action here. There is a wall that kind of moves slightly to the right, and a set of stairs looks like there's a set of stairs that. So there's a doorway that kind of opens up that's not initially clear.
I have a question for you on
Okay.
this doorway. The doorway is too small. I want to clarify. The doorway is too small for the chimera to go through?
Yes, it's again. You got to remember.
And the Lord is very rotund. Is it too small also for the Lord to go through?
The doorway is about a 3 foot wide doorway.
He was
It's
really
desi-
rotund.
It's designed for a human to walk through. The Lord can walk through it here as well. But you got to remember.
It's better than the chimera. Okay, so it's going to leave the chimera in the dust.
Well, the chimera will stay inside there. Keep in mind, the chimera has wings. It can fly too. I know, right? I'm sorry.
Like I said, this is why D&D is fun.
Okay.
Because it's all about the dice rolls to see if your plan succeeds.
Okay, I want to pull the lever and open the door.
Okay, so this doorway opens up, and there are stairs that lead upward.
Uh-huh.
That lead upward back up to the room here, because you notice to the side here.
But it's the Lord's turn next.
It is technically the Lord's turn next, but you still have. But I'm gonna let you do one more thing if you want to do anything at all.
I do.
Okay. Roll perception one more time.
10 plus 4, 14.
Okay. So as you're looking here, the one that says stairs leaped at you right away because it's got a little picture of stairs right next to it.
Uh-huh.
But the other ones have little animal symbols next to it here.
They release other animals.
Yes, they release other gates here.
Not
What
do it
what
yet.
are the animals?
You can't tell, you're looking at it too quickly. You notice that there are these other levers, like are kind of like the kind of levers here on a panel, and they look like they'll open up other gates here because one of them's already lowered down, and that was the Periton that was here earlier. So these other gates might open up other creatures here if you're interested.
I would suggest waiting until I get out to do that.
Yeah, I would like to wait until he gets out to do that.
Okay. All right.
That would be very beneficial.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. It is now the nobleman's turn.
Can I bribe the bear?
Well, the bear's working.
He's charmed.
He's charmed.
He's already.
Okay.
You don't have to do anything for him. He's totally on your side, but he's just kind of like staring at you, waiting for you to tell him what to do right now.
Okay. I haven't gotten to dance yet, you know?
The nobleman here doesn't notice that you've gotten up to the ledge. He's actually really, really freaked out by the chimera right now.
Uh-huh.
He thinks that he's won a great victory over the chimera right now, and he's going to go back at the chimera
Okay.
and go kind of like piss him off some more.
20.
Oh, he succeeds.
He succeeds.
One.
8.
If you get a natural... Now, mind you, my rule here is that if on your roll you get the highest number possible, you get a crit on that, you get to re-roll that again.
Okay.
So 9, so 14. He does 17 points of damage. He's chopped off the tail of the chimera here.
So are you just
One-handed with a sword.
pissed off further, though?
Oh, yes. Yes, the chimera is now is rightfully like screaming in agony and very upset.
Run up the goddamn
It's
stairs.
John's turn now.
Okay. Your turn.
So, John, you've noticed Mom's obviously called out to you and told you stairs. The nobleman hasn't noticed here at all.
Yeah.
What do you wish to do?
I'm gonna run up those damn stairs.
You want to do anything else?
Well, once I'm at the top of the stairs, I would also like to...
Roll perception and see what the other animals are.
Well, that, but
Or release
also
an animal.
pull the lever back up for the stairs. Well,
You may or may not want it. I'm just giving you a hint. Keep in mind, it's a repeating crossbow. It's light by its nature,
Oh, please do.
but it's one of
Yeah.
those things that, like, if you hold it, it's a two-handed sort of thing.
yeah.
So you're gonna have to,
Building it,
yeah, because you don't. Because what is your strength again?
So my strength is 14.
Oh. Okay. For you to carry, you would have to carry it up here because you'd have to, because you don't have because you're not gonna be able to like pack it here.
Yeah.
Because that's going to take a turn to pack it. So you would have to put away your scimitar and your whatever dagger you've collected here.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not telling you what it is just yet.
Yep.
And in order to do so, you would have to carry that crossbow with you upstairs. So you would not be able to attack this round if you desired to.
This is very true.
You could leave the crossbow. It's fine.
There might be other stuff here in this noble's house as well. You don't know necessarily.
Yeah, leave the crossbow.
Well, here, wait.
He's down in the pit. I can steal anything I want, right?
Ideally.
Yeah.
Can I make a quick perception check to see if there's anything else particularly an arcana check.
Okay.
See if there's anything else particularly interesting
You may.
on the ground. So that's
Wow.
going to be a 15.
There's a lot of interesting items on the ground that you suddenly come to realize. That the floor is littered with either staffs that are broken in half. There's an orb somewhere over here that looks like it might be containing some sort of familiar in it. There's an amulet that's over by the chimera. There's clearly a lot of people have died in this arena and left behind their items. And the nobleman has just not seen fit to want to collect it.
Is the orb close to me?
Roll a d20, please.
Dirty dice.
3.
No, it's
Oops.
over by the chimera.
Well, shoot.
Roll again.
Yeah, dirty dice. 8.
There is a
Wait, perception, so like 9. Yeah.
Okay, so
Not that much of a difference.
if you want, there is a broken staff that's kind of by the stairway. It's broken, so it's not at full power as it might have once been, but it's got a kind of a glowy crystal at the very end of it. It could be valuable for something or other.
And repurposed.
Yes, if you
So-
wanted to.
I would like to pick up the crossbow, and on my way up the stairs, I would like to pick up that staff.
Roll a strength check for me real quickly.
Strength check, right?
Yes.
17.
Plus
so
2.
21.
21.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, no. 19.
Okay, yeah. So you're able to pick up both.
Sweet.
But as you're carrying them, though, like, you've got the staff in one hand, you've got the crossbow in the other hand, and like the second you get up the stairs, you have to drop one of the two of those there because one of them is too heavy to carry. The crossbow, ideally.
Yeah.
I can carry the crossbow, though.
Yes, you could grab the crossbow from him.
Yeah. No, so once I get up the stairs, I would like to just
Hand her the crossbow.
and then pull the stairs lever back.
No. You doing the perception and carrying both those items. They are going to be the
that'll
one
be my
action.
action.
I'm going to close the trap.
Okay. All right. So it is now so again, remember it is Chimera, John, you, and the nobleman. Because John passed his turn, it became Chimera, Mom, nobleman, and then John. But it resets itself again back to the beginning. So now it's going to be the Chimera's turn. I need...
Oh, that's going to be my turn.
Chimera now is royally pissed.
Because it saw John go up the stairs?
No,
it's
no.
its tail cut off.
It's got its tail cut off here. But it's noticed the door opening.
Oh.
But it can't go through.
No, it can't go through, but it's noticing now that there's less people in the arena.
But it's really, okay, after you've eaten one fat lord, doesn't
It
really
hasn't
matter.
eaten him yet, though. Fat Lord's still alive.
It still wants to go after the Lord because the Lord cut off its tail.
Yeah.
What is it?
13.
A 13?
We can turn on the light.
This is true.
We've played long enough that it's getting dark here. Okay?
I know, but isn't it been fun? How long?
Oh, yeah.
All right. He
So
hits
when my
the-
friends and I usually play until like 3 or 4 a.m.
Yeah,
Yes, it's a...
yeah, aware of that.
Can I borrow 2d6 from you?
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
So I personally, this is why I like to have more than one set of die for
Yep.
each character. So that way, if I have to, it's better than having to roll the same die over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the higher level spells that cause like 6d6s of damage
Yeah.
or something.
The nobleman gets his right arm bitten off.
Ooh.
Didn't his left arm get
Injured, yes. He can't grasp with his left arm, his left hand right now. Is basically his left forearm right here is like bitten on, and it's got like giant gaping holes from the teeth marks from the lying side of the chimera. Well, the ram part of the chimera is basically just kind of like bitten at his arm and just like pulled back and ripped his arm off.
Okay.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is now John's turn.
Cool. So, yeah, you get the crossbow.
Thank you.
And I'm going to pull back the stairs lever. How many levers can I do with one action? Just the one, or?
Roll for it.
20.
Hot damn, okay.
You can. So there are 8 levers. So there are 9 levers here. Roll perception real quickly.
So 8 animals and the stairs.
So that'll be a 5.
So 5. Okay. So you notice that 2 levers have been pulled down, or 3 levers have been pulled down in total here. One of them, obviously, this is the one from the stairs. And the other 2 are the two kind of guarded cells that are there. There are 6 more of them here, though. What do you want to do?
So I would like to pull up the one for the stairs and then just basically flip all the others down and open up all the rest of them.
Roll a d6 real quickly.
Okay, some of those things might have wings.
2.
One of them might be a big snake. Oh, wow.
We don't know that.
God, but
So-
one wouldn't be enough?
Well, okay. We can let them all kill each other and then kill the last one, because that last one's probably going to be pretty wounded, and then we can collect all the cool stuff that's on the floor after we kill that last one.
Good strategy.
Okay.
There's other stuff around the house, too. I mean, I think they're all going to be pleased that the Lord is dead.
Well, yes, but there's all sorts of cool, like, weapon stuff.
Okay, all
And
right.
weapons are good, because they
Okay.
cause more damage.
Okay.
Okay.
I now have a crossbow.
Yes, you do.
Repeating.
We can find other cool stuff like that.
Okay. I have a repeating crossbow.
Alrighty. So you have let loose a salamander.
What is this salamander going to do?
Well,
It's not
This
that
is
kind of
D&D.
salamander. It's a
different kind of salamander.
Find the picture here for.
Don't think like tiny small lizard. Think more like Charizard.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah. So you've let loose a salamander here, which looks like this.
That is very Charizard looking.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
a very big, fire-breathing snake lizard thing.
Let's see here.
It can't wiggle out of the chamber, right?
Well, we also put the stairs back up, so not really.
You've also let out 2 hippogriffs.
I like hippogriff.
Let's see.
Very good in Harry Potter.
Yes. Oh, he's over here. You've let out a spectator.
What's a spectator? Oh,
Like a beholder almost.
Yes.
Like a baby beholder.
A baby beholder, essentially, is the way I describe them.
Cool. So this is think like Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc., except no limbs, and instead of limbs, it's got extra little eyes on like antennae like thing. Think like Mike if Mike Wazowski and that one snake Medusa lady from Monsters Inc. had a baby. And instead of little extra heads on the hairs, it's other eyes.
You've also let out a displacer beast.
So like a panther with extra legs and
tails. Yes. And just for fun,
oh god.
You've also let out. You remember that one movie with Liam Neeson? He has got a great line in it.
Which
the one
one?
Where his daughter's taken?
No, not the one where no, not the one from Taken. It's
Batman Begins.
No, not Batman Begins. It was he plays Zeus.
Yeah.
We have the Kraken.
That's my homie.
John realized. So you don't see the heads of it, but you see the tentacles of it. This is a baby Kraken, and when its gates open up, it floods a little bit of water out from it.
Okay.
And you start seeing tentacles come out of it.
Okay.
So this is really good for me. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
So, like I said earlier, when it comes to different kinds of magic casters within D&D, you have clerics who pray to a god, and that god grants them abilities. You have druids who get their power from Mother Nature and can transform into different animals. You got wizards who study their spells like Harry Potter. You got sorcerers who are just so in tune with elemental magic and they can shoot fire and be part of the storm and stuff like that. Whereas my character is a warlock. Warlocks specifically make deals with other deities. And there are different subtypes of warlocks based on what kind of deity they make a deal with. You have celestial warlocks who make deals with angels. You have fiend warlocks who make deals with demons. You have undying warlocks, which basically make deals set with things that can't die.
Like zombies.
Not exactly. Think more like
Things
liches,
that are
like
eternal. Okay.
eternal.
Elementals in some
Yeah.
cases.
Okay.
You have all sorts of different things. You can even make a deal with Cthulhu. My character, on the other hand, has made a deal with a kraken, specifically a kraken. It's literally called a kraken warlock. So I can, as part of my deal, I can actually summon tentacles out of the ground to smack people with.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But in this case here,
You should have told me this sooner.
you would have known, or in some cases here, depending on how secretive John's character is, because mind you, some people are very if you're a warlock, you might be very secretive of your deity or the person you've made a pact with, if only just because, depending on the pact here, some of them might
That's not us.
might agree about certain things here at the end of the day. Like
Okay.
some creatures might be a little bit more. Some pacts might be a little bit more mysterious in nature because you don't want to let it out. Because the second you let it out, it might affect how everyone perceives you in some cases.
Or it might even just straight up. Roll that will help us for later.
Okay.
Well, you were rolling it too, so
Well,
yeah, keep that in mind.
I would
Yes.
like to let them do all the mayhem, and while you're waiting for all that to go away, so you can go and pick up things in that room, I'd like to find the wife because I wanted to rescue the wife, because she's going to give me her gold and silver when I rescue her. Right? No, wrong.
Maybe.
No?
We don't know what's going on with the wife.
Remember, the wife's just been, as far as you know for the wife here, all you've known is that she's screaming.
All we know is she's screaming.
Yes, you don't know why she's screaming necessarily.
Yeah.
You just know that she is screaming, so you don't know if she is a willing participant in anything going on here, or if she's a captive going on here, or if she's even, like,
Well, okay.
orchestrating some of this stuff even, maybe.
Everything we saw in the house earlier was very expensive and so these are obviously very wealthy people.
Yes.
So I'd like to go collect some stuff.
I mean, don't forget there are other guards there.
Keep in mind, there are other guards there right now. She's charmed the druid here, or excuse me, the butler bear right now. Though for you to leave right now, the thing here is that if you want to leave the gladiatorial pit here, and I'll let you leave it with John here, which will end combat, it'll take you an action to do so, though. So basically, you leave it, you walking out of the
Well, what if we want to come back and pick up some of the things that have been left behind?
Well,
I would not recommend that right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I would like to leave the pit
Okay.
and explore the house and see.
Do you take the druid? Do you take the bear druid with you?
Yes, he's still charmed,
Okay.
but can he turn back into a druid?
Done.
Okay.
Okay. I need to make a quick roll here. Perfect.
Because just because we want to leave doesn't necessarily mean that we will.
So the spectator doesn't notice you leaving. The chimera doesn't notice you leaving. The hippogriffs notice you leaving.
Hippogriffs can fly.
Yes.
Crap.
The
Can't these animals be glad that they're free and they're no longer in the cages?
yes, but they've been. You don't know what they've been what's been happening to them beforehand. They've been locked up in cages. They might, and clearly the first one here looks like it hadn't been fed in a while.
Yeah, they're hungry.
Yeah. So essentially, here you leave the nobleman behind, and he's now fending off against different animals, different creatures here. Do you want to wait to see what happens to him, or leave before you get to find out what happens to him?
I would like to wait and see. Because here's my thinking. So,
Keep in mind the hippogriffs know you're trying to leave.
They know we're up on the. We don't want to hide from the hippogriffs.
well, here's the thing. Druids get all their power from Mother Nature.
Oh, so my druid could do something with the hippogriffs.
Yes. He could potentially calm down the animals.
Okay.
Potentially.
Well,
we don't know what exactly he's
okay.
capable
We'll
of, but it is a
we'll wait and
possibility.
see what happens.
You're gonna wait to see what happens.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. So it's the nobleman's turn now.
17.
Unbeknownst to you, the nobleman grabs his chest, and there is an amulet on his chest.
Oh, noes.
He grabs that.
But he can't grasp anything with his left hand, and he has
can't-
no right hand.
Yeah, he has no right hand, but he holds on. But he at least puts his hand onto it. So he flings his arm up onto his hand here, and hits it, and it starts glowing bright blue light.
This will be different.
This is a 6 and an 8. He starts to regrow part of his right arm.
Cool.
That is his entire action.
Oh, that's cool.
The chimera tries to eat him and misses. The spectator does not hit either. John, roll a d12.
Okay. 4.
What is your wisdom?
12. So I get +1, and I have advantage on the saving throw, so that would be +3 to anything that I roll.
So what was your final roll at the end of the day?
7, if it's 4.
7. The Kraken, you see the Kraken trying to reach out
Yes.
to him, and because you are nearby, the Kraken realizes that you are in somewhat danger, and he grabs hold of the nobleman.
Does he eat him?
His first tentacle misses. His other tentacle misses badly and hits the chimera,
Oh.
but it's latched onto the chimera. He grabs the nobleman. They're dragged back toward the cell, and all you hear is blood-curdling screams,
Are they the nobleman's blood-curdling screams
and the chimeras.
and the chimeras? Oh, they're both being dragged back. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
The other animals now are looking at each other and looking like they might want to start picking fights with whatever's closest to them.
The hippogriffs have forgotten about us?
No, the hippogriffs are still coming toward you here.
Oh,
But it's now John's turn.
I would like to move my action towards, or save my turn,
Okay.
so that way you can talk to. Because the thing is that the elf
The druid, yeah.
because he's charmed by you, he will only listen to you. He will not
Okay.
listen to me.
Okay, so I would like to talk to my dwarf druid.
Let's see if we
My
can
elf druid.
quell
Okay.
the fight.
And see if he could communicate to the hippogriffs that we're really good people.
Okay.
We're good demons.
Okay.
Well, not just to the hippogriffs, but to everything else too.
To everything else, yes,
Yeah.
to all the animals.
And if they chill out, we'll let them go free.
Yes. And they can be our friends. 5. 11. 7.
Okay. So, he quells the hippogriffs, who kind of just like land near you. And you now realize they have saddles on their backs.
Oh!
Oh, we can ride them.
So, so the hippogriffs are now kind of like calmed down. They've kind of just like landed on the ledge here, of which there's just barely enough space for them. The other creatures inside the pit here do not act favorably toward the druid, and have now such decided that they want you. Particularly you, the druid, and John. At this point, they've decided that they do not like you guys because you're the next possible meal on the ticket here. With the exception of the Kraken. The Kraken's no longer invested in you guys anymore. He's being fed right now.
Okay, so is it still my turn?
Yes, but I need you to roll a D6 here, because basically you talking to the bear druid here was a free action.
1.
Perfect. So before you can continue talking to anybody, you hear steps coming from behind you. Shrill shrieking along the way. It's the wife.
It's the wife.
What do we see when we turn around?
Both of you need to roll a perception.
Good Lord.
I'm 10 plus 4, 14.
I got a 10.
You see her streaming toward you with a pike,
Ooh.
running at both of you.
Do we
Both-
notice anything particular about her?
Yes.
Aside from the fact that she's wielding a pike.
Yes. She's got hooves for feet.
We tell her.
Oh, no.
I don't know
You
if she's going to be listening to reason.
She's not listening to you right now. She's charging at both of you. The fact that you've noticed it now means you can roll for dexterity to as a saving throw.
Cool.
18.
So with my...
Okay.
So that'll be a 19 for me.
3.
Okay, Mom,
Oh,
you're...
no. Plus...
2, 5, plus 2.
So plus 4, so that'll be 7
7.
for you. Because
7.
you have proficiency in dexterity
Absolutely
saving
suck at
throws.
rolling dice.
It's okay.
Honestly, that's just kind of how it is sometimes.
Okay. So she charges at you, and she does get to hit you, unfortunately, with the pike.
Just how it is. Sometimes.
And you do take 5 points of damage because she gets you in the shoulder.
That's only half 8. Minus 5.
So now you can do something now, Ma.
Now it's
So-
your turn.
Now you have a free action.
Can I fly away? Can I?
Yes.
Well, I want to grab the griffin and my elf and fly off with my griffin and my elf.
Well, if you wanna hop on the griffin, you can, and you can fly with the griffin. The hole in the roof is big enough for a hippogriff to go through.
I would like to fly away on my griffin.
Okay.
Fly away on your griffin. Okay, you got it right. Can I take the elf with me?
No, the hippogriffs are only big enough to fit one person on it.
Oh.
Okay. I want to take the elf.
See, I kind of want to appease my the little baby kraken. I want to appease him because this is obviously related to to my patron.
What would it take for you to appease him?
I don't know. I would like to.
Well, I'm still trying to.
Well, my concern, my character's personal concern would be that he doesn't want to ditch his anything that's related to his patron, because then his patron would begin to
I
frown
don't want
upon
to leave
him.
you. You're my son.
Well, that's why there's the extra hippogriff there.
Okay, I'm gonna hop on the hippogriff.
Okay.
But I kind of want to save my elf.
Okay.
I feel like he's in danger.
You still have control over the elf. She's not going after the elf just yet. Again, the key phrase there being yet. All right. John, what would you like to do? Remember, this is a woman that's just charged at Mom with a pike.
Yeah, I want to take care of the wife.
You're going to take care of the wife?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a perception check for me real quickly.
So that'll be a 10.
A 10? Is that with your modifiers?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not high rollers here.
That's okay. Do a quick Arcana check for me.
Nope, 3 dice.
12.
So that'll be, with my modifiers, that'll be a 15.
Okay, so what you've noticed here is that you notice that she has hooves for feet.
Mm-hmm.
And what was originally a somewhat fair sort of maiden with like blonde hair is kind of disappearing almost and revealing a succubus.
What's the succubus?
That would be a kind of monster. So I'm noticing past an illusion,
Yes, you've basically
seen through her magic. Okay. Oh.
That's a pretty one.
you've noticed a succubus here.
Okay. We are tieflings.
Yes.
Is there any sort of way we could perchance persuade her to calm down?
You have persuasion, right?
I don't have proficiency in it, but my charisma is relatively high.
Go for it.
Because we are tieflings, so like, hey gal, chill.
Okay.
We mean you no harm.
Want to go have a cup of coffee?
Oh no. So that'll be, with modifiers, that'll be a 6. Ooh, no. No.
So what do you tell her? Well, I actually should have asked that before you rolled.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Is it basically to the extent of, whoa, chill, lady, chill?
We're tieflings, we mean you no harm.
What are you doing to my elf?
We aren't doing anything to him.
I see you doing something to my elf. Get away from my elf.
You got it. We did charm him earlier to help us out, but
Traitors!
if you'd like, we can undo it.
She swings at you with her pike,
Miss.
and she misses. Mom, it's now your turn.
You have
I'm in
proficiency in persuasion, and you have the same amount of charisma that I do. So you would get +5 with it to anything that you roll. So you try to persuade her.
Well, I want to fly back on my hippogriff and try to persuade her that we meant the elf no harm, and we were only coming to save her.
You still have enough range while you're on your hippogriff, while that she cannot reach you. You can still talk to her.
Okay, so I would like to talk to her and explain to her
Okay.
that I came to the castle with the intent of saving her because I heard she was shrieking.
Okay.
Oh, shit. 17. Or no, 7. Not 17. 7.
Oh my goodness, what's that over there? I didn't see that dice get rolled at all.
Oh!
20.
Okay. So the succubus here suddenly hears your pleas and is suddenly overcome with remorse. All of a sudden, it's like, wait, what? You came to save me?
I heard you were shrieking. The dwarf at the bar told me that you shriek, and I was worried about you, so I wanted to save you.
We even heard it!
Yes, we heard. We heard you shriek.
I wasn't shrieking. I didn't need saving. That was me and the butler.
Oh. Oh, I see.
It's a bit of a kink. Oh no.
Well,
Where is my husband?
He's around.
He's
Some of him over there, a little bit more of him over there.
Is that his arm over there?
Maybe. Might be.
Thank God.
he met he met some of his pets.
Infernal 5.
And this ends combat.
Yay.
Okay.
Here. As part of our plea, we should probably uncharm the elf.
Yes, we should uncharm.
Okay.
You can undo your... So when it comes to like spells like that, as long as you've casted them, you can undo them at any time.
My hour's done.
Yes.
Well, you can choose to end it.
Okay.
Okay.
I will
Because
uncharm
combat,
them.
actually, each turn in combat, as just like a little random fun fact, doesn't really matter all that much, but each turn of combat in real time would be like 6 seconds.
Okay.
Not like this is how long it should be. No, like in the sense of like if you wanted to measure it in an actual time,
Yeah.
10 rounds of combat is
A minute.
a minute long in actual like real life.
Okay.
In theory, like, you can charm a person for up to like an hour or two in some cases, depending on how strong your magic is. Your level 1, so your magic like will let you charm him for maybe like 10 minutes, maybe. In this case, because he wasn't even doing anything too much here at the end of the day beyond throwing the nobleman into the pit.
Which is something he probably wanted to do anyway if he was knocking up the wife.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he was a very stoic elf.
Okay.
All right. So basically, you guys leave the pit here. Essentially,
I don't want to leave the pit just yet. I want to thank my kraken.
no, you're gonna want to leave here now because the other animals have decided that you're more of an interest here, and the succubus has basically said we should leave now.
And remember that they didn't go back into their cages.
Can I at least like yell to my
Thank
kraken
you,
patron?
boy.
Basically,
Roll. Do a quick. Roll.
7.
what kind of roll?
That's perception.
Oh, so that'd be an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
You notice one of the tentacles kind of come back out of the cage with an arm that waves goodbye to you.
Yay.
So, as you leave, the succubus decides there's a final switch on it. And so, basically did you fly back down to the succubus on the hippogriff by chance?
Yes, they did.
Okay. So, the butler here is taking the hippogriffs, taking them upstairs, is taking them through the hole that's in the gladiatorial pit.
Uh-huh.
And the succubus is quickly leading both of you away. You're carrying the repeating crossbow, I presume, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I
Technically
don't get to keep the hippogriff? No?
Wait for it.
I was gonna say, so technically speaking, also just because you are a winged tiefling, you actually do rather resemble.
The succubus on the same level. So
Okay.
she's now got a slightly better view of you here, so she kind of actually admires your wings. That she thinks is very much prettier than hers. So she's a little jealous.
Oh.
So as you leave, she flips a final switch, and the gladiatorial pit closes in on itself and self-destructs. Basically, it kind of falls in on itself.
Aw,
Okay.
Crushes all the other animals and kind of everything else that was in there.
damn.
Oh, you poor Kraken. I'm so sorry.
Well, that and then also all the cool stuff that would have been at the bottom.
Oh.
Yeah, there was kind of some cool other stuff down there.
The orb.
I did get the staff with a
Crystal.
Orb.
A glowy
crystal
bit on
thing
it.
on it,
You will probably roll for Arcana.
Yep, dirty dice. So that'll be a 16.
You realize that the staff is the former staff of another warlock whose deity was a kraken.
Yay!
You notice that the staff is wooden in nature, but as you get to the top of what's the crystal at the top of it, there's like metal tentacles that kind of encase it and kind of are holding on to this kind of crystal that looks kind of like it's been polished under the water here a little bit. It's kind of curved and kind of juicy. If you're able to repair the staff, you might be even more powerful. As of right now, you need to take it to a person who's proficient in staves to understand better what the staff will allow you to do. But right now, just even holding on to it just gives you a +1 to your intelligence modifiers.
I'm smarter.
So it makes you a little bit smarter here. But you have to be holding on to it.
Gotcha.
So if you were holding on to it here, you obviously wouldn't want to use it because it's a kind of a broken wooden staff here at the end of the day. So if
might misfire.
Well, not so much misfire, but if it were to get damaged here at all, you might lose the top of it, which is the important part.
Yeah.
And thus you would lose your intelligence, and you can't obviously do damage with it at all. You would be too worried of breaking it right now until you got it properly repaired.
I would say, if anything, what I'm thinking of is essentially taking this stone off of it and maybe finding a different, base.
Yeah, a different base, a new staff, an amulet, even maybe or something.
Yeah.
Here, there is options here for you with this.
Yeah.
But if it's repaired, you'll get more. You'll get more pluses to something.
Okay.
Roll one more time for the Arcana here.
So that'll be
14?
17.
17.
Yep. Well, with modifier.
The dagger that you've picked up as well is a frost dagger.
Ooh.
Stabbing people with it gives you an extra +1 frost damage,
Cool.
regardless of whether you hit a person or not.
Oh. That's
With
right, because you picked up that cool dagger.
I
So he
did.
picked up the dagger, so he gets an extra. So it does frost damage on it in addition.
I still have a magic coin I know nothing about.
Do you want to? So, as you're walking back up here, the succubus starts explaining kind of the history and the backstory of what happened here. Was that she was initially tricking the Lord, and basically was the intention of settling down in kind of a remote area with her elf druid here.
Oh.
Because the intention was that she wanted to get away from it all, and at the end of the day here, she was still kind of tricking the nobleman into thinking that she was a fair maiden and that they were married together, that they were basically in company, in cahoots with one another. Now, he didn't know she was a succubus at all. She was actually pretty clever about hiding that information from him.
Does he love her even more now?
Well, he's dead.
Who?
The noble.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the elf.
Noble.
No.
No, the elf has all sorts of magic, so the elf
Yeah.
went down.
No, the elf is actually an archdruid,
Oh, shit.
which denotes all the tattoos all over his arms, and it's actually when he takes off his shirt to change his suit, you notice even more tattoos that are all covered all over his body.
So essentially, just for context, this is the highest. So okay. In terms of leveling for D&D, 20 is the highest you can go. Archdruids are maxed out. This is a guy who is capable of not only transforming into practically almost any animal, depending on what kind of druid he is. He can also do all sorts of stuff. He can raise the dead. He can.
I'm so proud I was able to charm him. My goodness.
So he is proficient. He is a archdruid that is proficient in shapeshifting.
Oh,
He has-
Circle of the Moon.
So
Cool.
he has the ability to shapeshift into various woodland creature forms that include a number of other semi-magical beasts.
You can also turn into much more dangerous things than a bear.
Yeah.
He can if he wanted to, he could turn into a plesiosaur, like Loch Ness monster, if he wanted to.
cool.
For context.
Yeah, so
Takes a lot of space though. Be
yeah.
cramped.
So the fact that you were able to charm him was actually his just bad rolling.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Well, and that's part of the fun of D&D is that even if you are such a high level, you can still screw up pretty badly.
so
There's
Well,
always
he didn't
that room.
screw up though. He did the right thing. He threw the
all right.
Lord into
Yeah.
So the succubus, when she goes back into the castle here, is now transformed back into a fair maiden
the. Okay.
with bright blonde hair and blue eyes and a very fancy dress. And the butler here has changed his outfit. He's got his gloves back on, so he looks prim and proper. You go to have dinner, and she explains how, again, they moved here to get away from the countryside, and the intent was that they would go to a place where they would not be able to be heard at all. However,
So they're far enough away from.
from society that nobody would ask any questions necessarily.
Okay.
She doesn't necessarily like what the nobleman's been doing by taking all the money, but she doesn't mind having the money either.
Okay.
She agrees to go ahead and reopen up the silver mine that's been there in town, with the intention that the notion here is that the people will be able to go back to mining and be able to make more money. She's also going to return.
I'm just envisioning the butler like this. Or something along those lines.
I'm
I
thinking
see.
like
Oh, nice. Okay.
not quite, but
Yeah.
the same. Yeah, good. Your imagination is as far as you want to take it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She is going to give both of you 100 gold
Ooh, thank
for
you.
helping her, for basically getting rid of her husband and that gladiator pit, which she did not want.
Okay.
It's too gaudy.
She's also agreed
Clashes
that
with furniture.
she's also agreed that if you should come back with your caravan, she will furnish you with another 100 gold each in order to bring more business and money to the area here to show as a sign that the new lordess, or what is the female version of a lord?
I guess lady?
Lady?
There we go. So that the new lady of the area here is a much more benevolent owner of the land versus the former lord.
Okay.
And so that
If
is
you wanted to go like a cooler title, I guess marquis.
lady. We'll go with lady.
Yeah.
And the intent being that you should come back in a month, and she promises to have the town far more livelier at that point here.
Because the mines will be back open and
The mines will be back open, and hopefully the notion that her being here will have, her being in control now will have made the area better.
Okay.
As well, she's also willing to lend you the hippogriffs to return you back to Waywocket in the other town that they're in with the Sapphire Review.
Uh-huh.
She's agreed to let you borrow the hippogriffs. Upon returning back to the town, she would very much like you to return the hippogriffs.
Easy.
Whether you decide to return the hippogriffs or not is completely up to you guys. Whether you decide to keep them or not, that's between you and them. Although
Awfully hard to hide a hippogriff, though.
Well, I would like to return them as a sign of
Goodwill, yeah.
she
Yeah,
might
'cause
even
they'll
give you more. She might even give you again. She's gonna loan them to you for the time being, and then upon their return, that she'll give you back the 100 gold, another 100 gold. So you essentially could come back with 200 gold here.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Okay. Do you have any questions for her at all, or anything she might be able to help you with? Because she is over 150 years old. She's been traveled through Olaro. The Archdruid as well is about 400 years old.
So we would like to know about the towns in the north, because we have a month to kill.
Well, no, to come back. That's okay. There are 3 towns to the north here. None of them are going to be as prosperous and offer you as much money as our town will. She winks and nods.
We're going to be back in a month to your town, but we got some time to kill, so we might want to hit a town or two in between.
Now, mind you, a caravan will take like 3 weeks. Can be in anywhere for about a month usually.
Oh, okay.
So like the notion, if you come back in a month, it'll take you like 2 weeks to get there anyways.
Okay.
So like it'll take a week to pack up, it'll take 2 weeks to get there, and it'll take a week to set up. So
Got it.
basically, by the time you return back to your caravan.
So we would like to know,
Mm-hmm.
because we are scouts.
Okay. Well, you're not scouts. You're performers. But you were just scouting out the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're scouting at the area. We would like to know where should we suggest we go after we finish in her town when we return.
So her town is to the east. If you continue to keep going to the east, you're actually going to hit the water. And there's a big city that's there. She will.
Is it tiefling friendly?
Yes.
Ooh.
It's tiefling friendly because the Lord is actually a tiefling.
Oh, right.
And it might be a place for you to go set up shop there later. She'll put a good word for you by giving you a coin to show that if you show this coin, they'll basically kind of let you into one of the best taverns that'll help you get around.
Out of curiosity,
I'll
is
have
that
a
the same
concierge.
coin from earlier?
You're gonna need to show her the other coin here first. Okay. Go ahead and roll a D8.
8-sided.
Huh? It's 5.
She recognizes the coin. It's not the same coin, so this is a new coin for you. This coin has an anchor on it with 3 teeth.
We know that the anchor is
The house family. Is the house family as the family crest here.
Yeah.
The anchor also denotes something else. That part she doesn't know necessarily, but the 3 teeth marks on this coin are not part of the coin. They're personally etched on.
Oh.
So basically, she tells you that so long as you show this coin in this one tavern, there's a person that'll act as your concierge who will help you out with almost anything you might need in this new town.
Neat.
Should you go to this town at any given point.
Well, we'd like to go to that town.
So she tells you. The anchor, though, roll for history. Both of you can roll for history. That's fine. So a D20.
I know shit about history.
Mom later recognizes that the anchor.
I get 4 in this.
Yeah, so you rolled a 22.
Yeah.
So you recognize that the anchor is actually the patronage of this city that this water town that you're going to. It's a merchant guild that basically practically runs the city. So that's why this coin is going to be very useful for you. And this is the coin that the succubus gives you.
Yes.
Now, as far as the other coin here, go ahead and roll for this other coin.
18.
The succubus sees this coin and basically kind of shudders a little bit when she sees the coin. She doesn't like the marking on it here. This is a coin of a magical assassination guild that's in the far west.
Cool.
So I lifted a coin off of somebody who's part of a magical assassination guild?
Yes, the intent
God,
being
it's probably going to come after me.
this coin is kind of how they recognize each other. Now they might have multiple coins, and each one of their coins basically denotes what kind of services they provide.
So I could pretend to be a member of this because I have the coin.
Yes, it could get you into certain underhanded places that normally you would not have access to. Nobody usually asks questions about these coins. It's often one of these cases where you kill a person to lift this coin off of somebody else to get more access to other places. The more of these coins that you have, the better the chances of you getting into other places.
Cool.
Neat.
Okay.
At this point here, is there anything else you wish to ask of her, or
Is there absolutely no chance that the Kraken survived?
the Kraken probably did not survive. She does not want to go. She does not want to pay the money to have that place excavated at all.
I understand. I just want to go ahead and find a place just for a moment to sort of pray to my patron and just thank him for his help. And I want to apologize for not being able to do more to save one of his kind.
Okay. Alrighty.
I just want to get on my patron's good side and genuinely thank him for, thanks for the help.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk to the druid or the succubus about?
I wanted to thank the druid for saving us. I know he was charmed, but still awfully nice.
The druid looks at you in a very certain way, as if to say, please never talk to me or see me ever again.
Oh,
He's not happy about the notion that he was. He's actually quite.
He doesn't like the idea that he was charmed.
He doesn't like the idea not only that he was charmed, but that he got charmed in general.
He's probably embarrassed.
He's very embarrassed by this. He never wants to see you ever again.
Okay.
No offense, but
Yeah.
and he means it with no offense, but I never want to see you
I got it.
ever
I got
ever
it. I got
again.
it.
Don't remind me of my failures.
And he's actually at the point now where he's you guys should probably be on your way because this morning now
Let's
you
hop on our hippogriffs and fly.
yeah. Now, mind you, you've been able to sleep over the night. Your wounds have been tended, so all your hit points are back.
Okay.
And you guys will have gained experience points, which will get you both to level 3.
Oh, very cool.
neat.
Because
Okay.
again, I mean, while you did kind of do work on a chimera and a periton. I'm going to say that you also kind of defeated some of these other monsters here as well because they died in the process.
Okay.
Plus, you gained some useful information. So I'll say you guys got to level 3, and we can discuss if we wish to continue what happens if you get past level 3.
Usually for most. So, okay, just for more context, for those who don't normally play D&D, level 3 is a rather important level because most classes, fighters, barbarians, basically if you're not a magic casting class, level 3 is the level where you get to pick your subspecialty or subclass.
More like your specialization.
Yeah, no, your subclass.
Yeah.
So, for example, warlocks and sorcerers, they already pick their subclass from the get-go, essentially what kind of magical source they're aligning themselves with. Whereas all of the classes at level 3 get to pick what kind of thing they're going to be. For example, fighters can be champions, they can be battle masters, and gain the ability to sort of inflict statuses upon their opponents. They can become eldritch knights, where they can learn how to cast magic and all this other stuff. If you're a paladin, you get to choose what kind of paladin you're going to be. You can be a redemption paladin and defend others. You can be a revenge paladin and try to, you're much more offensively based. So on and so forth. Level 3 in D&D for all classes usually is when you gain your subclass, which is where you get to specialize. And even if you have two characters that are of the same class, that subclass can make them entirely different.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So so you guys are flying back on your hippogriffs, back to the town that's technically west of us here,
Okay.
because this was to the east. And if we pick it up, we'll pick it up there.
There we go.
Alrighty, so that's going to conclude this adventure. But as a part of always our podcast here, we always like to discuss what it is that we did and reviewed here. So, what did you think of this, Mom?
Oh, okay. So this was a lot of fun. I will say the Dungeon Master is somewhat unimpedent,
Yes.
but that was an observation I made before.
Well, and that's also kind of the idea. You need someone who's impartial to run the game.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I totally get that, and he was a very kind dungeon master.
Oh yes, he was.
I'm
Yeah.
a very malevolent dungeon master. I care. I would rather see the story be more fun and interesting rather than watching people die and suffer through it.
Yeah.
So I'm more of the opinion that like as much as like the dice are meant to kind of help guide the narrative of the story of what will happen next, I also know that a lot of the cases that like some dice just really suck.
Well, where would it have taken of us if we hadn't decided to go up the hill?
Well, I mean, like, if you had decided to go to the next town over, I would have said that the road was closed since there really wasn't anything to do there.
Okay.
So the road might have been closed from, like, rainfall or something like that,
Okay.
like mudstorm or something.
Okay. So we were meant to go up. We were
Yeah.
meant to go up the hill.
No,
Okay.
so the DM can. So usually the role of the DM is to sort of guide the players in a general direction, but what happens along that path, along going that direction, is totally up to us, the players.
Okay. And what if I had abandoned him and separated?
You would have met the wife upstairs eventually and could have maybe convinced her later on of what was happening. John would have been left down with the pit with the other animals to fight with the noblemen for the chimera, essentially.
Could he have made friends with the nobleman by fighting the chimera together?
He could have. He might have.
Potentially, but
But at this point, the Lord was basically like, he saw your papers and didn't believe them. Something looked off to him. And plus, he's never known his family to work or encounter with tieflings. So
I overplayed my hand there.
Yeah, keep in mind that like most tieflings, again, I mean, like I probably would have gone with a different sort of
Tail?
background, maybe.
well, so
Okay.
here's the thing. So here's where one of your spells would have come in handy. So minor illusion is very much a minor illusion, but
You might have been able to trick him to think that you were a human the entire time.
yeah.
Oh.
That was actually, so that's one of the things I did with, like the last time I played a tiefling, like cleric paladin, who was basically like, I am the holiest of the holy, despite his obviously being a demon.
Uh-huh.
A little bit like Hellboy.
Also, I don't know, the way I wanted to play him was sort of like Judge Claude Frollo from
Oh, okay.
Hunchback, where
Okay.
he essentially was trying to gain, in fact, he was called Judge Claudius. But so the thing that he normally did was that he had actually enchanted an amulet specifically to normally cast minor illusion all the time, so that way to other people he would look like he was human.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
All right.
So he could just walk around without.
So I could have played
causing
that. I could have
suspicion.
played that differently.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is why your race kind of does add a lot to what the character was.
Okay.
And so like while I didn't say it outright, you had like a negative modifier to it that was kind of heavy because you were saying you were a tiefling and noble. If you had rolled like an 18, 19, or 20, the nobleman would have understood, would have recognized it. Again, you have to roll like an 18, 19, or 20 with your modifiers on top included into that. Because basically you needed to roll over a 20. Because you didn't roll over a 20 here, like he basically saw through the paperwork and was like, nah, I don't think any of my family would have been dealing with infernal demons.
There are races in D&D that are that are more or less like frowned upon, like half orcs, any sort of goblinish person.
Dragonborn sometimes can be kind of confusing in some cases.
Yeah.
And
Dragonborn can either be like, hey, we really like trust you because you're the descendant of like a holy dragon or something, or they can be like, get the hell away from me, you spawn of Satan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so your race kind of played a little bit into this here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas on the other hand, there are races that are very well liked. That like elves, pretty much every sort of race, very much
Halflings, humans for the most part.
gnomes.
Yeah.
Dwarfs are usually like, it's sort of like a neutral good kind of thing where it's like, yeah, we like these guys. These guys are like really good like crafters kind of thing. And then there are other races that are very much wild cards, like Genasi are usually like, it really does depend on the person. Genasi being very elemental beings, like they could they even have color-coded skin. Like fire genasi will have bright red skin and can also like spontaneously combust. Earth genasi look like they're made out of stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff
Got
like
it.
that.
Okay.
What else did you think about this?
So I thought it was really interesting because it went places where I didn't see it going.
Oh, that's the absolute fun of D&D.
Yeah, I mean, I did not see I was curious about what the wife was because we never did actually get told that he was beating her.
Yeah, no, we just heard...
You heard screaming, and I was intentionally being deceptive about the screaming here. The screaming actually, depending on what directions you went, if you met the wife first before you went to the gladiator pit, she would have been like in distress, and she wouldn't have been a succubus. Versus because you went to the pit, she became a succubus, and so it was far more entertaining that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then how often do you end up in pits full of animals?
Well, admittedly, that's a first for me, I think, but it's not uncommon to fight hordes of monsters. I mean, usually it's of the same monster. If you fight like a pack of like dire wolves or
you might fight like a
something
pack
else,
of goblins, or with like maybe a troll leading them, or you might fight like a pack of wolves with a dire wolf that's leading them, or if you're meeting like a bunch of soldiers here, you might have a knight that's leading them in some cases.
Okay.
Usually there's like a guy that's leading them in a lot of cases.
Okay.
In this case, this campaign was basically coming back off of me watching Full Metal Alchemist, which is an anime series, which I highly recommend anybody to watch. One of the first episodes basically has the characters here meeting a priest who's faking being a priest in order to gain all this money and power from the citizens. And then he kind of gets them into like a pit where he sends chimeras and other enemies at them. So as a result here, that's kind of where this kind of all came from.
Okay.
Or at least the inspiration for this came from.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I found myself pulled by making decisions because I couldn't leave you, and I could have flown away quite easily earlier.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing when it comes to bigger parties of people. Like for example, like in the very first campaign I had, we had like I think 6 of us all together, not including the DM. We had like 6 player characters. So if one person wanted to split off, that wasn't uncommon to go, to
go do something else. But sometimes it can be a little bit more distracting because they're doing this one thing that might take
It would splinter the game.
Yeah.
Well, what ends up happening here is that like you take forever to get to the 5 people there, and then you try to like do something else with the other guy that you're trying to be like, so you don't feel bad about leaving him out for what feels like the last hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes combat can go on for a really long time.
But this felt like it went on for a while.
I apologize.
But that's also like pretty standard, to be honest.
Yeah.
The combat phase in a lot of cases is kind of sometimes like what could all takes the span of like 10 minutes here could feel like it takes like 2 hours to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, got it. No, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So
I actually would like to see where it went, but
we can always do another game here at another time here.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think that's a great way to end this episode here, and we can always come back and use these characters again at another time. We can level them up, and we can go through that entire process if we want to another day.
Well, and this is my first time playing a warlock, or at least a pure warlock, because, I mean, I'm playing another campaign where I'm playing a character that has 2 levels in warlock, but he's really more sorcerer than anything. He doesn't actually really interact with his patron all that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I think this would be a great place to leave it off at here. We're about almost 2 hours and 40 minutes in, which is not bad.
Okay.
No, I mean, that's short for a D&D campaign.
It actually
Okay.
is.
Okay.
So, but thank you so much for joining us here for the Nerd Tutorial Podcast. You can visit this episode and some of my notes here for this quest that we went on here at nerdtutorialpodcast.com. You can also visit our webpage at facebook.com/Nerd Tutorial Podcast. And let me know on Twitter if you have any ideas, comments, or questions about anything that we're doing, or even topics for future things to go over at nerd_tutorial on Twitter. But for myself, my mom, and my little brother here, John, we thank you so much for listening in on this, and we hope you will join us again next time. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
Bye.
Peace out.